You're listening to The Morning Show with Maze Jackson on the Talk of Chicago. 16 Rise and shine.
Oh, yes.
Wake up.
It's much warmer than it used to be.
Wake up. Wake up. Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show. Call 773-591-69.
It was
Words change so very much. What it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty.
But I asked my buddy.
All right, y'all. Take. Y'all good. Y'all good.
I asked my buddy. I said, when did that happen? He said it was indirect in one of those attack ads.
Oh.
So they were talking. She was talking about that, you know. I guess.
If you need to scoot in some further.
I guess.
So both of y'all are in the camera right there. You stay in that space.
Okay. I guess at the beginning, Lori called him.
Oh, I can see that coming.
Yeah, and then Lori was throwing a shot back like I had to explain to my daughter how adults lie and all of this stuff. I was just like, wow, you know, the feelings was in
She
it.
got a good team.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and sitting in with me today, as they have been all week, it is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger and Miss Cleopatra Watson. How you all feeling this morning?
I'm awake.
I feel wonderful.
You know what
you do. You're older now.
Did
older and wiser.
you know what? So you know what, y'all. So how did you celebrate your birthday yesterday? You did celebrate a birthday.
I did. I went to a watch party for the debate. I had a really good time, and then from there I went to dinner with my fiance. So,
All right, that was awesome. That's where y'all go. What y'all get to eat?
McCormick and Schmick. So
Oh.
I had filet mignon, I had lobster. I just ate good, and I didn't have to cook. I was just so happy. And then I came home, and my family sang happy birthday. I came home, and my family sang happy birthday, so I'm good.
All right. Todd, what did you do last night? Did you get your kick it on? Was you sitting around watching the debate?
I went to the bathroom.
Oh.
I slept. I ate a banana. It was a good day.
In that order? No.
Not quite.
All right, y'all. Well, you know what? I am zonked. Yesterday was a crazy, crazy, crazy day. So I did the morning show. I left here. Then I headed over to the World Chicago. So I had to address a group of dignitaries from Africa and Asia. That was an interesting conversation. I actually broadcast it on Facebook Live, so you can check that out on my Facebook page. Left there, went to go record Uncomfortable Conversations, the podcast, which dropped tonight at 12:15. So if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Uncomfortable. Go to uncomfortable-conversations.com. Pick your favorite web player. Pick your favorite podcast app player. So you can either get Google Plus, Spotify, or Google Plus, Spotify, or iTunes. Subscribe, and you can check that out. And then after that, I left and headed over to the final debate. And man, you know what? I had that was interesting to say the least. You know what? I haven't been inside. I don't think I've been at a debate, not at a mayoral debate, that was televised in a very, very long time. And from the perspective of watching it, it was pretty cool to be in the room, be in the set, do the whole thing. Kimberly Goen got in. I love that question she asked. I love that she doubled back on the black with Lori Lightfoot. I would have loved to have seen Tony Preckles' response to that question. having been the county board president for 8 years and 0% contracting. I'm sorry, Mr. President, my fault.
Zero, I can't be zero.
Okay, it's like what? Well, actually, like when they tried to round it, you know how if it's over 0.5%, then they round up, so they would have gave you a 1.
Let's move on.
But I would tell you that debate, because she doubled back on Lori, like, yo, what's up with that black? No, I said black. I love the fact that we have now moved into a space where black people are now advocating for our own self-interest. So I'm going to tell you all, if you did not get an opportunity to check that out, make sure you go back. You can rewind it. You can get it on the Facebook page, on CBS2 Facebook page. Shout out to the Business Leadership Council, who actually will have a representative here. Karen Riley, their executive director, will be here today, as well as Ida's Legacy. Shout out to WVON, of course, for putting it all together, as well as CBS2. It was great to see the collaboration of the generations. Also, it was pretty cool to talk to some of the members of the emerging leaders division of the Business Leadership Council. So one of these days we got to get them get on the air and talk about what they're doing with black business, etc. But it was
you know, when Tony wins, I'm going to ask her to make me the Minister of Finance.
Okay, and then you win. I hope you got a plan B, bro, because I'm just telling you, things. Man, I'm not going to.
Then it doesn't work, Todd.
In the event that things don't work out as you anticipate. Not that I'm tripping, because I do believe that black people could save the day. I think that
there's a high early voter turnout in the wards.
You know what, Sonia? Can we get Jim Allen on the show tomorrow too, so we can talk about turnout? Because I want to know where that turnout is coming from.
Oh, and I also have to tell Cleopatra that the Minister of Finance reference is a Parliament reference.
Of course, not that much I knew.
No, not that kind of Parliament. Parliament the group. It's a song.
Oh, why you keep throwing shots at me?
No, this is education.
Well, that is true, because I'm just gonna have to do a tutorial from the 80s to the 90s about all of the music I missed.
No, I'm sorry. That was more
70s.
Like
70s?
Yeah.
I thought you all said 80s.
No,
No,
I'm 80s. He's 70s. All right, so check this out. We've been talking a whole bunch.
Than I have,
But let's do this. Let's say, hey, you know what I love? I appreciate. I embrace my gray. Cause you know what? I have hair, right?
You're right. There's a lot of
You want to right? Like when I do the full spin, I'm all good. Whatever angle they want to hit me at. So gray me out. You can gray me out, because usually if you go gray, you don't go bald. Right? I like the gray hairs, because those are like the toughest. Now they done lost their elasticity. So they don't got no. They will do what they want to do, and you have to. But I'm gonna tell you, you know what? We done got all the way off. Let's do this. Let's say what's up to the morning show team. Gotta say what's up to the Wonder Twins. They are both back in the studio. What's up, Miss Sonia Escobar? How you feeling this morning?
Good morning, I'm great. Oh, that's amazing last night. It's just surreal. Like, before you even were on the morning show, nobody was asking what's in it for the black people. So for it to come at the forefront last night, man, it was like full circle for me. It was beautiful.
I think you're famous.
No, I'm not famous. I'm gonna tell you. I do think though that what I am extremely proud of is to see us starting to shed the moniker of people of color. I am extremely proud to see us stop shaking the minority. It's like, I feel like, what I feel like the handicap for a lot of people is, how we went through the progression of to Negro to color to black to African American.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now we have gone, in my lifetime, I've been black, I've been in New York, but I've been black, I've been African American, I've been a people of color, I've been considered a minority, and now we are back to black. And I feel like Chicago is on some black, like if you don't say, now we got, what we got to do now though? Now we got to go the next step. So the first thing is we were excited to hear people say the word black, and you got a pass for just saying black. You know, like we was like, yeah, say black, say you black. We say black. We like, yeah, we got black on the agenda. Now, man, what we got to do is take that the next step. So when we ask people the black question, we got to expect, they can't get us fired up when they say, well, blackity black, 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 and we're excited, but we don't get substance.
Right.
So now the next thing is now that we got people asking the question in whatever variety that they ask it, now what we got to do is start putting requiring a substantial answer that just because you include the word black does not give you a pass, right? Because I think like when we heard the white people say black, because they didn't know what to say. Remember they be like, African American, say black. But they told me African American, say it. And now it's like they said black.
You mean when everyone, whenever they wanted to get the crowd on their side, they say, and President Obama.
Yeah. Ah! And it'd be like, and that'd be the end of everything, right? Like all substantial discussion ended because they said, we got they'd be like, squirrel, that's my president. All right, y'all. Look, you know what? We are waiting on the net floor noise, so we are still on the runway, but it's all good. We'll get this soul plane up in a minute, but in the meantime, let's go to traffic and the weather.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago. 16.
It's hot in here. Can you tell I shine?
Well, obviously it didn't have the same punch, but it was what it was. Huh? I am going to say as much bad stuff about you before I ask my question.
Yeah, but I remember now. She said, she said that, you've been an attorney, you represented corporations that have discriminated against people of color.
Yeah. That's
it was
part of her
fully
statement.
loaded. And then she said, what is it you regret most about your professional career? The end of the forum was
that was
the
actually
best.
really good. I mean, in the sense that she threw a punch.
Tony was serious, like Tony was jab. And then Lori turned to her and she said, you know what? You have, she gave her all of the stuff that she's done to her. You offended me. You got me explaining to my kids why I don't lie and say things and be malicious and so on and so forth. Lori really didn't answer the question.
Yeah.
Because, Tony got to her emotions, and when I realized how important, I knew it, but seeing her struggle with the fact that Tony gets under her skin. So when I'm dreaming of them collapsing this wall between, president of the board and the city,
I don't really see that happening myself.
I worry about her being able to overcome the fact that this lady, she really didn't get to you because she couldn't even get the answer out.
No, that's because she didn't want to answer the question. She gave the answer. That was politics. She gave the answer that she wanted to.
To have.
But
that was a
politics.
really good question. Like, what is the biggest regret of your professional career?
It is a good question.
That was a good question.
But you don't want to answer.
No, I was just like, whoa. And I'm like, what do you say? What do you do? Like, what do you regret?
See, when people ask you questions like that, your answer should be something like, my biggest regret is that I wasn't able to help.
Give enough or do enough.
Right.
I
couldn't mentor more people, whatever.
Yeah. My uncle, before he passed, it was my aunt's fiance. He used to coach me up. And when he'd be interviewing people, he used to work for the board of ed. And he'll ask me questions like that. And then he'll walk me through, like, best responses. Always. And to this day, they're still valid. They'll be valid until the day I die in terms of how do you...
That kind of stuff.
Right. That'll never change. That's an interview question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what made you leave your last job to... What could you have done better? How can you improve yourself? All those standard questions that I answered.
Yeah.
So, I thought between Kim's procurement question. Oh, and it was another good question. I forget the white man's name. But and I forget, I got a kid he was talking about, but it was a baby that was shot 10 times, and it was directed to Lori, and he like shooting him out, and they got it. You know, he went and locked the boy up twice, and he was cited for actually killing a black child, and this is before Emperor the Cobra the Emperor, I forget which way it went, but he's still on the force. And the 99 percentile of complaint records, and 95% of this, like, what y'all gonna do to correct that? Like, gainful employee shot the boy in like 10 or 04 or something like that.
You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690. Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger, as well as Miss Cleopatra Watson, y'all. And we are, you know what? We are still on the runway, waiting for Annette Flournoy to get here. So let's run through a few of the headlines.
This is like the 80s.
What? What do you mean, like the 80s? Talk to me.
Oh, in the 80s, you always were on the runway waiting for the plane to take off.
Man, you know what? I think you might be right, Todd. You might be right. I'm excited, though, you know what, y'all? I got a busy day today, too. So
Another one? Yeah, right.
You know what? It has been a crazy week. So I leave here today. I got to go tape Fired Up with Flannery Fired Up for Sunday. So I taped that today. And then I leave. I'm going to be speaking at the City Club today.
Oh,
I will be on a panel with Fran Spielman, Paris Schutz, John Cass, and myself, providing the final review of the election cycle. I'm pretty excited. This one is one of those ones where I think like this one of them panels where they done put the white guy, the black guy, the progressive, and you know what I'm saying. And I think I made the cut.
Well, you definitely made the cut.
But we got so I
was waiting for Walter to invite me to his table, but it never happened.
I don't think Walter got a table. You know he plugged, man. You know he could just walk in the room and people be like, "Excuse me, I'll get out of the chair.
Yes,
Move out of the way. You sit right here, Alderman." All right, look. Let me run through a couple of the headlines. Let me just say, first of all, Kim Foxx, the Lannisters are coming. The Lannisters are coming.
All right, I hate
the
that.
Lannisters
What is
are
the
coming.
Lannister? Is that one of those Game of Thrones?
Yes, it is a Game of Thrones
figured.
reference,
I didn't know
and it is the ruthless political. Look, man. So I would just say this.
You talked about it yesterday.
Well, we're gonna talk about it today for real, cause it rained last night as it related to Kim Foxx, and I'm gonna tell you. So you know that's my girl. And so I want to talk about it, but I'm gonna have to break this thing down for us today because we just need to be aware of what's cracking, cause it is officially on and cracking, and I don't know. I'm gonna tell you. So yesterday I was, I was talking to some people, and they were like, "Man, this thing is about to go ape sheezy." The Department of Justice is calling it outrageous, according to Fox News reports. All we need is a federal investigation on this thing, plus the cops. You know what? So we're gonna talk about that at 7 o'clock. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But Todd, Cleopatra, did y'all see the news yesterday? Y'all seen any of this stuff that's flying around? And now more and more. Let me just give you a tickle here, just a tickle. Apparently, Tina Chin was responsible for coordinating all Hollywood celebrity surrogates for the Obama campaign, which would then make the direct connection to why she was able to why she was trying to lobby on behalf. They have already dragged Kamala Harris into this. This thing is about to go crazy because this is also an opportunity for Trump to obliterate some of his enemies as well as stick it to Chicago. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all.
He likes doing that.
Yeah.
He never
Then-
had to get off a plane in Chicago.
Man, what? That was before he was the president.
Yeah,
That was before he was the president. Try that now.
Yeah,
Okay, you okay? Y'all go ahead. Y'all don't let what's that TV? Don't let none of these TV shows fool you. You mess with the president of the United States, you got
Some
it
guy who's a half a mile away will shoot you.
down.
Yeah, right.
Down.
And he will hit you right in the head.
Right
too.
smack from a half a mile away, no
Yeah.
questions asked. All right. Did you see the story about Concepcion Malinek? 19 adults and 14 children locked in a house where she transported them to work. She basically had a slave operation going on. This is Latino slavery upon Latino slavery. So basically, she would smuggle them across the border and then put them in a house and say, y'all owe me. Y'all owe me $18,000 to $32,000, and then she would check this out. She
This
would
is old time stuff, though.
Huh?
You know, this is what I hate to say it, but this is what immigrants would do to each other all the time. They're always stealing money from each other.
well.
When I say stealing money, I really mean more like it's always been a sense of some kind of slavery where you have nothing, I have something. I am going to use you, and then you will owe me. It's like slave crop.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all what. Well, this woman was doing it right out in Cicero. 19. Can you imagine? Okay. Can you imagine 19 adults and 14 kids in
Yes.
one?
Do you know why?
Why?
Because when I was in Springfield, Robert Goyevich, we came in together. He had a bill, and his bill made it illegal to chop houses up into different rooms. So on the north side, they would take a house and they would make every separate room like an apartment. So you could have 5 people in a room as big as this, which is probably what, like 15 by 10 or something. It was crazy.
Man, well, I'm gonna tell you what. That was crazy. Let's see. Let me tell you, that's gonna be another reason ICE gonna be in Chicago. You mark my words. All right. Did you see this Jean Gang group gets the O'Hare deal? That group is leading the design of O'Hare. Now I don't know if that's a girl or Jean. When it's Jeanne. What is that? Jean?
How would I know?
Is that Jeannie? Well, whatever it is, they got the contract to do
It's a
the.
woman.
Huh?
Oh, you know.
It's a woman? Okay.
It's a white woman.
Well, it's a white one. Surprise,
Oh, really?
surprise.
Yeah.
That is going to get it. You know, we're going to have to get Jamie Reed. Now, they
My
got.
last name Gang, they tripped me out.
I heard we're going to have to get Jamie Reed in here next week. Sonia, I think Jamie Reed is wanting to be in the studio next week, so let's follow up on that. Hey, I think Annette Flournoy made it in, so let's do this. Let's get this soul plane up in the air. Let's get to 50,000 feet because we've been on the runway. All right, Annette, you good? All right, let's get this thing cracking. All right, now, I feel like I'm ready. Do you see you all get your... Has everybody swapped out their driver's license? Have you gotten your real ID? Oh. Okay, well, it's a good thing you have a passport. But I'm going to tell you all, if you are used to flying and you do not have the real ID, you cannot get on the plane. You have to use a passport. Well, not apparently. Starting on Monday, if you go to the Secretary of State's office, you can now get the official real ID. They are officially
I have to
on.
ask my wife
You ask your wife.
if I have one.
Oh, if you have
I'm
one.
not sure what this one
It
is.
looks like this.
When's the last
I
time?
actually just went to the DMV. So I misplaced my driver's license, and I expect to have a real ID. It looks like this.
All right. Well, nobody can see it on there. You gotta.
I'm gonna look.
No, but you still had to. I thought when I went to the airport, they told me I had to take a different ID.
Yeah.
I had to take it's 2020. I saw that it was, but I'm talking about when you're trying to get on the plane. That's what I'm talking about. Cause they be like, yo, I remember you go get a driver's license, and then they would give you like a paper copy and say keep your old one,
Right.
and then they'll send you a driver's license a week later. And nobody checks the mail. I used to forget to check the mail. Who checks the mail? I check the mail like once, cause it's all the way down the street. It's not down the street. So who checks the mail? I was like, email it to me, but they can't email it to me. Look, you know what? We are up in the air. We have 50,000 feet. It's time for traffic news and the weather. Let's go there, and when we come back, we'll ask the social media question of the day, y'all, because the Lannisters are coming.
You like to have a gold star. You got a gold star?
You see that?
It features the Gold Star in the upper right corner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I went in there, man, I spent an hour and a half with the DMV. It was really rough.
My passport is about to expire. I need to.
I have to do that too on an emergency tip.
All right, what up, Sharon? What Oscar?
No.
What up, brother
Holy crap.
Edward?
Okay. I guess I'll have to go downtown. No, I have to go downtown, but I'll have to go to Secretary of State.
What up, Antonio? What up, Oscar Ortiz? What up, Janice Thomas?
So you gotta go in and then.
What up,
Then they took my photo again too.
Oscar? What up,
I'm sure you have
Brett Edward? Trustees T. What up, Akarium Q? What up, Denise Russell? What up, Randy Spam? What up? Y'all take a moment, share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. What up, Mike Brown?
I was trying to get my organs last time.
What up,
You trying to keep on?
Ronald Rule Hat?
Yeah, see, Janine Gang.
She from here?
Great question.
Wait. What up, Linda McGill? What up? Man, y'all, we gotta talk about this Kim Foxx thing because I really think, like, this is the Lannisters coming, and Kim is Daenerys Targaryen before she had the dragons. And before,
Really starting to become a different language.
before.
I love Game of Thrones.
So I'm just telling y'all, she got issues. And
on Netflix, isn't it?
Oh no, it's on HBO.
I love Kim Foxx. So but we gotta break it down because y'all gotta see what's going on. And I feel like if I don't tell, so as we break this, I don't want it to be interpreted as a diss. I want it to be interpreted as what we need to do. This is part of the reason I've been talking about that the 18 ward strategy, but it would have to be expanded into the counties as well. Y'all, this thing is ugly, and I'm gonna tell you, you're getting ready to have the feds in this. You're about to have, because with the Tina Chin Obama connection, it's another reason for Trump to go hard at this situation. It's Chicago. The dude said MAGA. They got all the elements, and then on top of it, Chicagoans are jamming her from the other side. Right? So when the mayor and the president are on the same page against Kim, I don't know if they got the political tools in the toolbox yet to be able to deal. I think
they need Mace Jackson.
I
As a
think
consultant.
I think that's not my. So here's a lick. I think when I talk about us having, we are agricultural in nature in our politics, I mean that we never think that the people with those sharp objects are going to use them on us. We think they're going to use them to cut the wheat and cut down the stalks. They are coming to cut you. Now, here's the deal. The challenge is, y'all know in the Game of Thrones, right? I love the Lannisters. So, honestly, Tywin Lannister was the baddest. I loved Tywin Lannister. He was you cannot allow the petty thoughts of an individual outweigh those of your family, of the needs of the family.
A lion does not affiliate himself with the privilege. I have been drinking.
You're right. Yeah, well, that's the problem with being a gangster. Somebody generally wants to shoot you.
Yeah, he
And
trying to use war is impressive.
It's the Godfather on Dragons.
yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, for the most part.
What's my name?
But
Todd?
I'm
What's his
a,
name?
I'm a
Todd.
Jon Snow supporter. In another life, we could have been together.
Jon Snow, that's still the same show.
Yeah,
No.
Jon Snow is that dude. Jon Snow is the bastard of Winterfell, but in actuality, he's king. He's a bad dude. So I'm actually thumbing
Okay.
things right now.
Pick is Jamie Lannister before he got soft. You know what I'm talking about, Pick? Yeah, you do.
I have to think about this. I'm not sure.
Okay, so and Tywin Lannister.
What is the question?
I don't think you would know. You wouldn't know.
You have to know both characters.
You have to know the person. You don't know the people.
No, you have to, yeah.
I'm making people.
Yeah. My communications director said I got soft. Like, I just don't want to see people get killed anymore.
It broke every bone in that boy's face.
That's late. I gotta read it. I never did it.
You stupid people.
No. We need more white people.
And he was found at the Grand Park. That's a strip.
2 kids.
They need them now?
As the sun is blue, that's the day that I found you. Feeling so right. And I never sing a song with all my might to have you, girl. You're in my world. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger. Also, gotta say what's up to my girl Cleopatra Watson. She is sitting there with us for the rest of the week. All right, y'all, check it out. It's time for the social media question of the day. And I am so WVON friends and family. You know, first of all, because these conversations today are going to be some hard ones. But I want to make sure that as we have these difficult conversations today, that you understand that these conversations are not a drag on my favorite state's attorney. I am here to tell you that I am 100% in support of Kim Foxx as our state's attorney, but I believe that there are moves afoot, and I think that they are all interconnected, and I think that we have to be watching and paying attention. So I'm gonna start here. We're gonna talk about this, what's going on with this Jussie Smollett and what it's done. But let me start here. As a political strategist, sometimes you have to advise your clients that as much as you want to just do your job and do a good job at doing it, you have to always keep your eye on re-election. You always do. And sometimes that is what gets people in trouble, because they become more focused on re-election than they do on doing their job. But you have to find a healthy balance. Like I said, it's part of what gets people in trouble, because if you start worrying about re-election more than you do, people start to see you as self-serving. But I'm going to tell you that my sister, Kim Foxx, has, over the course of the time that she's been elected, let more people out than she, or not, let me not say she's let more people out. The perception is she is more about letting people out and letting them get off as compared to locking people up. And let me not say locking people up, but being tough on crime. I think that there, as I've told you before, the narrative on crime and police in our community has been hijacked in some cases by the Laquan McDonald murder, and by millennials and their mastery of social media. Because if you were to look at social media, you would believe that nobody black wants police, that nobody black wants to, that there's no good, and let me not say there's no good police because I'm not on that program, but I am saying that crime is not an issue or a concern in our community. In the meantime, Kim's job, according to her, she was swept into office, in my estimation, because of the Laquan McDonald murders. Yes, Anita Alvarez was weak, but I think she probably could have won if there was no Laquan McDonald Tate murder and everything that led to this outrage, etc.
I think you're right.
Now, those same millennials that swept her into office, there are a lot of people, when you go places, they mad at Kim. They're like, you haven't done enough. You haven't prosecuted enough police officers. You haven't, right? And so she's jammed on one side, right? Because, quite frankly, she's let out more people that were falsely arrested or confused, but I'm not going to always say that the picture of those people being let out has always served her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay, and I don't want to do this wrong, but sometimes the people that are put on display, not the 20-year, 50-year, I've been in jail for others, but the people that may have been participating in the lifestyle, they just got off on a technicality. When you present that, people still know. And I am concerned right now that Kim's perception to some of the millennial activists is that she hasn't done enough to fight the police. And on the other side, as residents, I think people are concerned that she hasn't done enough to combat crime, especially considering the levels of violence that are in Chicago. So I'm going to ask the social media question of the day. Does Kim Foxx need to be tougher on crime? Or at least have, and let me qualify that by saying, does she at least need to have the perception that she's tough on crime? I'll start with you, Cleopatra, and then I'll go to Utah, and then we'll go to the phone lines. Give us a call. Hold on. Give us a call, 312-374-8130. Social media question of the day. Does Kim Foxx need to be tougher on crime?
I think it would be awesome if she did like some type of podcast quarterly to give face to all of the awesome work that she's done. Like, her office is making tidal waves nationally, and a lot of people locally don't even understand what she's doing and the impact thereof. And I would agree with you, Mace, that, you know, this is choppy water. Anytime the Attorney General, Raul's about to step in the midst of this, I see it to be problematic because, honestly, Kim Foxx has a lot to be held accountable for. It's a lot of bloodshed in Chicago that we could be focusing our issues on, and ultimately she's being pinned against the wall from every side, and I think she's in a bit of a crunch. And I appreciate her recusing herself from this moment, because that's ultimately is going to be her saving grace. And I really wish that instead of her defending it, I think the first assistant attorney should have continued to defend on her behalf and on behalf of the actual department, and why they called the call, and her stay out of the midst of it, because now she's going to be the poster face of all of this, and it may be cataclysmic.
She's between a rock and a hard place. First, she happens to be black. That's always tough when you are a law enforcement person. And as you were stating, Maze, there are certain things that the young activists are looking for. And what they're looking for isn't always realistic. So as she is doing her job, and I'm certain she's doing her job pretty much the same as the others had, except she's looking at things that the other state's attorneys would never look at to see if there's you're giving too much well, you're overcharging and that kind of stuff that we never seen before. You know, they just try to lock you up and try to get a good percentage of a conviction rate. But I think she had to speak up because she's the elected official. The elected official always has to get in front and say something. It's impossible to dodge it. But she is also in trouble because the Republicans realize that things like the sheriff and the state's attorney are the two jobs that they can win in the county at some point. And that's because when it comes to crime, people look differently on it. So that's why Jim Durkin is asking Kwame Raoul to look. It's like, if we can kind of muddy up the water here, we can have a Republican candidate who can beat her in the general election.
And I am suggesting that, because people are like, man, this tough on crime stuff, man, you're tripping. Here's what I'm suggesting, brothers and sisters. Perception in this game is real. I know that, I feel like Kim can do more.
Perception is reality.
Perception is reality, I'm sorry. And I know that in this game, everything is not what it seems. But I think that if you pay attention to most states' attorneys, they got at least one heater, one high profile something every year that you remember they fought on behalf, they took care of a victim. How did Anita Alvarez sweep in? How did she win the hearts and minds of black women when they went against Howard Brookins? Besides the fact that they did the dirt part, Girl X, right? She had that thing in her pocket that every time you thought about Girl X, she was the person who did. See, y'all, what I'm saying is, I want to see Kim be successful. And I think that when you are a prosecutor, you have a perception. Now, if you plan on being the president later, then you do the Kamala Harris. What you do is you make sure that you're fair and the vast majority of people don't get whooped. But I'm concerned right now that there is a perception that the prosecutor, even for black people, we love her personally. But when you think about all the stories of violence in the neighborhoods, I am watching right now all of the TV commercials being made on the news right now for the upcoming campaign. And so I'm saying, yeah, okay, y'all don't want to have to believe me, but I'm just telling you, we need to, if you want to save, you know what, let's talk about it when we come back after traffic and the weather.
Yeah, she's got trouble.
I mean, it's like, and it's like the people that to me, the people that she wants to help the most, who she's having the most impact on, don't recognize it, and she's not
I think it's because it's systemic change. That's probably what I want to say. Like, she systemically is changing the flow of how the county was doing business. Like, the state's attorney, like, that 5,700, I never knew that number. That's huge, but when you don't see systemic change, we see it subtly over time. I think we'll probably understand her impact long after she's gone. You know, I don't know to what extent she'll sit in there, but you'll know when a new person come in. You always know.
That's a good point. But I think that's the problem. That's the problem with black people have been stepped on for so long. You know, we want to see bam and
right now, like boom, 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 and to your point of us millennials, like we do have high expectations, and the more and more I understand how change comes, it's slow, and we want everything now. We do, you know, and we want you to go out there gunslinging, like for real. I want to see some repercussions. Like, case in point right now with Justice Smollett. Like, they want repercussions now. But I got a whole family that was just shot up in a car. The baby was shot in his knee. The mother is deceased. The father's fighting for his life.
Prosecutor's job is not to get people out of jail.
Yes, I mean, that's some serious
But
stuff.
because this sets a precedence on high profile cases,
Yeah.
so everybody else's lives are trivial. This is live. This boy ain't killed nobody.
No.
He did fight himself, whoever, however it happened. I don't know. I just think about it a lot. But
This is more of a nuisance case.
absolutely, this is he was supposed to be a poster child. They were supposed to make an ass out of him
Right,
and send a message, and that didn't happen.
right. Now people are pushing back on that.
Right, but what about the lives that were lost just this week alone? Because it's become a sense of normancy here, and that's a part of the systemic change too. So when you talk about us wanting some stuff now, yeah, those are the type of answers I want now, because I don't see that being relevant. It's as though we don't matter.
Well, I think if she wants to win, she will have to address violence in some fashion.
Absolutely.
I don't know if she tries to put together some kind of task force or whatever it is, but
And police brutality.
Those are all, but okay, again, you can't win. You're not gonna win a campaign as a prosecutor with an anti-police
No, that's not gonna
statute.
work.
That's just not. And it's like, this is my challenge.
millennials don't vote like that.
And it's like, so you spend all your time catering to mugs who are gonna cross you. So the biggest,
Exactly.
check this out,
They're
the
gonna get
biggest
mad at
thing
you
that she
eventually.
was, so millennials, her job was done as far as millennials with this Jason Van Dyke thing. So now, if she don't get whatever after that, there's no fire. I just think like, we're advising her off a cliff. Like you're advised, like all these people, like they're advising her straight off a cliff, and it's like you'll advise her off a cliff, and then she can't do the things, the 5700. She should have let Jussie Smollett fry. Sorry, Jussie Smollett is about to lose her a lot of. She's about to go to war for the next 2 years, or the next year. She starts circulating petitions in fucking August.
Yeah.
In September. And so now if she goes to war with the police, where's the largest vote turnout in the whole county? In Beverly. Northwest side. It's like, are we back? I
would
just
say this. I feel like I wouldn't advise her to do it. I wish she had did ABC when I woke
God,
up.
I bet you're going crazy.
Like, bro, I woke up for my nap and I said, no, don't do ABC.
You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger, as well as Miss Cleopatra Watson, y'all. And we are asking the social media question of the day. Does Kim Foxx need to be tougher on crime? Let me tell y'all. Black folks are about to advise Kim Foxx straight off a cliff. This is not a city of Chicago 18-ward election. There are 50 wards and 30 townships. And when you start doing the math, there's got to be a record of success against crime. The narrative, the biggest narrative in Chicago is crime, right? And what I am suggesting is, I'm saying that Kim has to do the 5,700 and the exonerations, the alternative sentencing and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. But to be able to have the power to do the 5,700, she got to win the big one, right? She's got to be able to stay in the office, and I am loath to keep going down this path of guiding her off a cliff. It's like right now, there needs to be well, let me stop. I want to know, social media question of the day, does Kim Foxx need to be tougher on crime? Let's go to the phone lines. Brother Ball, you on the Talk of Chicago, 1690. What up?
The last thing Kim Foxx needs to do is be tougher on crime in Chicago. She needs to be tougher on these cops in Chicago that supposedly fight the crime in Chicago. This is where the big misconception comes in. Because if Kim Foxx says, okay, we're going to, go harder on gun control, we're going to do this and going to do that, what are the police going to do? They're going to corral more people to put in front of her that are more than likely innocent. You know what I'm saying? So this is what she's trying to do. She's trying to empty out the jails with all the people that shouldn't be in them in the first place. I'm so glad, Maze, that we got somebody black that's doing something for the black people. What's in it for the black people? Kim Foxx. I love you, man.
That's what I'm talking about, Brother Ball. But here's what, and I appreciate you. So here's what I'm telling y'all: as we love Kim Foxx, we gotta be smart, and we gotta be smart enough to understand that she's doing a lot for black people. But at the same time, and I ain't say why it gotta be black people that gotta be locked up. See, that's how y'all mind think. Y'all mind is programmed to think that for her to be tougher on crime, it means black. Is black and crime synonymous to us?
No, I think I think
The police, it is to the police.
Yeah, he was talking to the greater group, which is the whole county, and in the county, black people don't make a majority or anything like that. But as you know, they look at us as the violent people.
And I am going to say that I just think that this crime issue, she's got to get some wins. She's got to get some wins. There's got to be something that counterbalances this. Let's go to Jose. Jose, you on the Talk Chicago 1690. Jose.
Hey, man.
What's up, man?
So I think Kim Foxx needs to find a balance between being tough on crime, but at the same time, highlight all the good things that she's doing. And this business is, like you said, it's all about perception. If people don't know what you're doing, you're not doing anything. And she needs to make sure that the people that is for reform on the justice systems to keep good people from going to jail, she needs to let people know how she's doing it and what she's doing. But at the same time, she needs to show that she's tough on those individuals that do need to be locked up. And I think that's what she's not doing, because until yesterday, I heard on your show, I didn't know really what happened with the Jussie Smollett incident. But as soon as I saw the headlines, I'm like, wow, what's going on? But not until yesterday you had her representatives in your show, I really understood what was going on. I mean, I think it's a great thing that that's a good program, but as long as it's being done properly, because I know a lot of good people will benefit from that. But she needs to make sure that not those bad individuals are going off on that technicality and to go back and resort to crime. But that's my take on that.
Hey, Jose, thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate it. That was a great comment. Let's go to number 3. Let's T. What's up? You on the Top of Chicago, 1690.
Brothers and sisters.
What's up, my brother?
But you know what? Jose just brought up something great. I think she thought she brought out, more or less had her Buzz Biscuit Award with R. Kelly. And then now we got the Jussie Smollett thing. In the meantime, and in between time, there's crimes unsolved. There's a young lady that died, postal worker, that's disappeared. So I think basically, in order for her, because Kim Foxx reminds me of Star Jones, who was the lead prosecutor in Detroit. And she locked up a whole lot of black people. So when she received her Butter Biscuits Awards, we all seen how that went. So I think she needs to use a little more wisdom about the cases she chooses and what basically not to be used by the power structure, because they just using her. And you got to lock up black people in order to get your Butter Biscuit Award. So she just has a snag right now in getting that award. So I'm not saying the sister is incompetent. I think basically she's intelligent. She's capable.
Thanks, T. I appreciate you. First of all, y'all, let me tell y'all what. Don't call up here talking crazy about Kim Foxx, because I'm like, you getting real close to the line. Let's go to the last call, Mike. Now, y'all, hold on, keep your calls, because we are going to come back, and we're going to continue this conversation, because I really want to break this down. We're going to talk about the Lannisters who are coming. Y'all, the Lannisters are coming. Do y'all watch Game of Thrones, Todd? You don't watch? Well, if you watch Game of Thrones, the Lannisters are coming for Kim, and I'm telling you, y'all better get ready, because boy, they don't play. They got a history. history of doing it. We're going to break it all down and talk. You know what? The new round of Game of Thrones continues. Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the
I am
nation.
living
1690 WVON.
like the final season. Yeah,
okay.
like
All right, Mason, what we need to do is we need to start a crisis management team. We will go to your headquarters for 2 weeks. You give us $10,000, and we'll tell you what you should do.
10,000.
We need more than that
Hell yeah.
for 2 weeks. I was thinking about one.
For $10,000 for 2 weeks. That means you said we, right?
Uh-huh.
That would mean we have to split it 5 each. No, we need to do better than that.
I am such a small.
You gotta do better than that. I mean, that's the challenge is our understanding of scale, and honestly, black people will pay a white person whatever a white person asks.
sure will.
A black person,
We gotta fight tooth and nail.
they will, man, please. Let me tell you. Can I tell y'all what? If and y'all know that, first of all, I love the Lannisters on Game of Thrones. I really do. And
Who's your favorite? So I heard you say
Tywin Lannister was my favorite.
Okay.
Tywin, before he got killed on the
So
toilet,
you
was my
got a
favorite.
Cersei.
I love Cersei too. That's like Cersei is. I love Cersei too. I love them because they are like so ruthless for their family. Like it's like
But
it
is it
don't
all for the family? Because Cersei, I mean,
all for her kids.
yeah. But
It
I
was
think
all
she's
for her
selfish,
family.
too.
All for her, selfish for her kids. She want her kids to rule. Now you killed her kids, so now it's all on. But I'm telling you, Tywin Lannister had the best quotes for
Yes, I was just telling
family.
you.
Like if you about building your family, Tywin Lannister, man, I used to write his quotes down and be like,
Yeah, what
I
they
have to go
say, a lion does not affiliate with the opinion of sheep. I be talking about that. People like, what you talking about? Like, I mean, what am I going? Yeah, about what you got to say.
There has to be some kind of knowledge, experience, something behind your statements. Everybody
Besides,
thinks
you
they're an
been
expert.
living?
Yeah.
Man, my family, the fact you've been living is enough experience. I'd be like, wait, what? What? I have survived in Chicago. Therefore, I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, it's hard to have a position, and if everybody's got an opinion on it, I can tell you for the truth.
My auntie said opinion is like an asshole.
Everybody got one. That's true enough.
Oh, Frisco Queen is a black guy.
Well, that's kind of unusual. I mean, I'm not surprised. That's the thing unusual. I'm not surprised either. Frisco's not in it. He's no dumb. And like most rich people, I'm pretty sure he wants to be president of the United States.
You don't blow how many million?
Well,
How many million?
that's
Uh-huh.
blow is
Or invest.
yes, it's an investment.
Invest.
That's exactly right.
Let me get my verbiage correct.
And he's invested in a lot of people would consider talented in this business. So when he wants to move on to something bigger, he's got those people sitting right there.
Man, they're pecking order too.
She's funny. I saw her on, she was saying that they are like eating buddies. You know, like they're like, oh, you shouldn't eat that type, you know. Keep your weight down, you're on TV and all that stuff. And she said, the moment I leave this show, I'm gonna be a size 18.
you talk to Kim and them, was she calling me?
I met her at Christmas gala.
JRHEE.
Me too, actually. Yeah, it was, no, it's not. It wasn't Christmas. It was a gala. It wasn't Christmas. Right.
Yeah, this is something.
Yeah, man, I'm not surprised. I bet you she is not an anomaly. I bet you every group where people come who didn't speak English, there have been people who have used them to their own benefit. So they would now. But I don't know if I want to be a captain. Well,
She should not have done that interview. She should.
did you see it?
I had just woke up from a nap, and yesterday, obviously birthday stuff, and trying to get to the debate watch party. I saved it. I planned to watch it.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
So I'm always
I didn't know she was
safe.
gonna be on there.
Man, I had a heart attack when I woke up. I said, no, Summer, no, get out of the camera. God, no. Like, she should have, I would have kept in her representative. Like, you call the shot.
Well, you know
You
what?
got somebody to take the call.
Well, no, he can't do it.
He can't. Why? Oh, because
She's the elected official. She has to.
Oh.
And I'm sure she felt like she had to get on because she had to counter the mayor and Eddie
Yeah,
Johnson.
because they just
I
threw
mean,
rocks
we're
at
making
her.
a tour, right?
They threw some evil rocks at her. Like, where was he at when that Van Dyke verdict came out?
I'm a little disappointed in Mays' frat for kicking her in the butt on TV at least.
Well, yeah.
On national
He
TV.
didn't have to take that order. So that's one thing Eddie didn't have to do. Now,
You beat people up sometimes, but hey.
Attorney General Raul.
All right, y'all. Take a moment. Share the broadcast. What up, Janessa? What up, Yashika? What up, Sonia? What up, Oscar? What up, Salim Wakil? What up, Crystal? What up, Denise? What up, Jonathan Boston?
Your governor.
What up, Tamiko Hope? What up, Alonzo Johnson? What up, Mario C. Jones? What up, Mike Brown? What up, Leah Charrier? What up, Patrice Roberson? What up, Tamulia Miller? What up, Crystal Overson? What up, Mike Brown? Mike Brown, when you gonna arrange the What's in it for the Black People security joint? You did. What up? You need to bring that to the next meeting. What up, Alvin E. Norton? What up, Janessa? What up, Javier Johnson?
I don't know if that's a scandal. Everybody's eligible. But I guess it's a scandal because people feel like they're paid.
Taka, you hit that door.
I got it.
It was definitely a story, but I have to put it up.
Yeah, they were things
So
like that.
it was misuse of it that kept circulating, and the general population wasn't being able to take advantage of it like I did. Well, I'm in general.
But you'd be surprised at how many people, right, the general population said no, even though we announce it all the time. It was.
I never forget the day my counselor gave it to me. So when Kwame called me, I was like, wait, what?
I always had an extra scholarship. There was, it'd be like, hey, the scholarships. People are like, come on.
Sure.
Hey, no matter what you feel right, wow, you feel right, baby. Hey, oh yeah. You remember this one, Cleo? You remember this one? I know you do. I mean, they play this song.
You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm y'all. Hey, y'all. Okay. It's the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. You know your mic on? Y'all know y'all mic on, right? It's the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Y'all know how we do at the top of the hour. Gotta say what's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as the Wonder Twins, Miss Sonia Escobar, as well as Miss Sonia Tompkins. I got former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger. What's up?
You know you can't put somebody next to me. I'll be talking. Girl, did you know?
As well as Miss Cleopatra Watson. And y'all, we are talking, you know what, I'm going to dedicate this next at least half hour to the Kim Foxx situation. I am calling this the Lannisters. I'm calling this segment The Lannisters Are Coming. The Lannisters Are Coming. Now, you may ask, who are the Lannisters? The Lannisters are one of the most ruthless, shrewd political families in the Game of Thrones. If you don't know about the Game of Thrones, it's the HBO special that has taken America by storm. But for description purposes, for those of you who do understand, I'm going to use this as a metaphor. For those of you who don't, still think of it as an illustrative story. We also have, you know what, but before I do that, let's do this. Let me finish these two calls from the social media question of the day, and then we'll jump into the Lannisters Are Coming. Because the Lannisters are coming. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Frank. Frank, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690. What's up, my brother?
My brother, man, this is absolutely nonsense. What Kim Foxx did was totally within the letter of the law. Anyone can see the motivating fact behind this is racism. If Justice Smollett was white, no one would be saying anything about what she did. We need to be standing behind her mouth. We need to be right down here saying that we support her decision. And then the Senate, she needs to start destroying young black lives. You know what I'm saying? With no prior clean record on a low-level misdemeanor, just advance her own career. It's absolutely insanity. That's not why she ran for office. That's not why we put her in there. We put her in there to talk about justice blindly and to keep the attack, the onslaught, and the slaughter of our own people unjustly. Now, the one who needs to be tough on crime is that white judge who let them 3 officers off, saying, well, the videotape was just one perspective. She had an intimate relationship, well, not intimate, but a close relationship with all of them. She should recuse herself, okay? This is nonsense, and that's all I got to say, brother. We stick with Kim Foxx.
I'm with you. I'm going to tell you what. I'm 100% with Kim Foxx. But I want to also remind you, perception, perception, perception. We're going to talk about this a little bit more because even as Kim Foxx stands by the decision, I want to know, did Kim Foxx actually make that decision? Because if she recused herself, as they told us yesterday, she couldn't make it. Joe Magat made the decision. Now, making that decision, see, okay, I'm gonna take you out to the Game of Thrones after that. Let me go to the real Mike. Mike, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mike.
There's a book that people need to educate themselves with. It's called Locking Up Our Own. James Foreman wrote it. I think, quite frankly, that, Mace, you're absolutely correct. They coming. And what we got to do is prepare for them. When they come, we have to make sure that Kim Foxx is in. You need to go over there to her office and slap around her communications director, because clearly they are not doing what they need to be doing on her behalf. And that is making sure 2 things. People understand that in this county, at least in Cook County, that there's something called redemption. There's something called second chances. And that's what needs to be dealt with, because for decades, that was not done. That's why we got rid of Anita Alvarez in the first place. And I want to say I was so proud of WVON last night. I saw you when you were behind Kimberly Ogoin and Derek Blakely. They tore it up last night and showed out, and it was a great debate. And what we have to do is continuously stand behind Kim Foxx. That means get $100, put it in her campaign, go vote, go tell those individuals who are most affected by this craziness that they got to get up off of their self and go vote too. And we need to keep Kim Foxx in, and we need to go protest if necessary to make sure that Rahm Emanuel, who's lost his finger and his man, that he'll get right. And we need to get rid of Sugar Bear, J.D. Johnson, and it'll be okay, because they are coming. You're right. And that's my comment for the day. And y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Mike. Let me tell y'all, let me say this. And Janessa Martin is putting it properly on Facebook Live. She said, what Mays is doing is putting armor on his followers, preparing us for war and storm that's coming. Kim can be called to the carpet and be overloaded with love. I was chastised as a child, and my mama will still love me. Now, I'm not chastising anybody. What I am telling us is our political naivete we cannot allow it to submit. We cannot pretend like this is not happening in front of us, right? Like, we don't think of people as being warlike, right? This is a real Game of Thrones. The power of prosecution, the power to prosecute, the power to decide who goes to jail, who doesn't, guys, this is a real thing going on right now. So did you all notice that Kim Foxx's text messages, her actual text messages between her and Tina Chin were released to the public? I'm talking about screenshots from her phone. Now, you all may not believe me when I tell you how this game goes. But when you are playing for all the marbles, all things count. Can I tell you what? We have not advanced in political technology. We aren't watching our Facebook pages. We're looking at Facebook. They looking at your phone. So I need for us to start thinking about what is happening. Yesterday, emails, internal emails from Kim Foxx's office, just looking for examples, were released to the public. Now, I want you to understand that. So now you're in your office. You are doing your best to help your people. You're under full-on attack by all the media outlets. Now it's going national. And someone inside of your office decides to release your emails after someone released your text messages. But y'all, you know what y'all saying? No way. This is, you know what? And my concern, my fear is that we are not tooled up. We are not ready. Now, let me just paint some more to you. So now think about the fact that Tony Preckwinkle, who was the Dragon Slayer, has been slayed. Is in the process of being slayed, which means that someone is looking at Kim like, you don't have any of your defenses. Your shields are down. We can go for the kill. And what they're going to do is put Tony on her back with story after story after story. Pay attention right now as these stories hit the news. Everything is now Kim Foxx, Tony Preckwinkle protege. Pay attention to the stories. Pay attention to now they're showing their pictures together in the paper. Y'all, the war is on. It has already started. There's blood in the streets. We cannot be part of the Red Wedding. Look, we're going to talk about it all when we come back. It's the Talk Chicago 1698.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson.
Now,
Is the Red Wedding like...
they killed everybody.
Still like Michael's...
Yes, it was like the Red Wedding was the christening.
Yeah.
Now, check this out. Here's what you got. They could have a whole strike. So right now you got Supreme Court judge up.
Right.
You got the state's attorney up in the same election. Right?
Right.
You got the chairman of the party at her weakest state ever. And you have a political family that is a warlike clan. The reason that when I say the reason, but imagine they was the armor bearers. The Joyces were the armor bearers for the dailies, right? When it was time to go to war, the Joyces put on the take them out. They got the tools in the toolbox. Now you also got to remember they controlled the state's attorney's office from Dick Devine all the way through Anita Alvarez. So besides Kim's core, who are the rest of the attorneys come from? Who do the rest of that staff come from? So now if I'm asking myself with Joe McGatt, how did you get here? Right? Joe McGatt, where did you come from? Like, did you work your way up? So that means you got a job, hired, and Kim, being agricultural, says okay. Kim didn't say let it go. Dude said let it go. Perfect excuse. We all buy it. Meanwhile, so while we all like, kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya, they like, set the match. Boom! Blow the whole thing up. So now, who is prepared And you're telling a story of it doesn't make a difference that it was a good thing. It is how it is being spun and perceived. You, in a case like that, you let him, you say, because of the challenges, because of all the convoluted stuff, we're going to put this in the hands of a jury or a judge just so I am absolved of any type of taint. I would love to offer this, but because it's so confusing right now, because there are so many hands and I'm going to say we're going to have to put that in the hands of a judge and jury who we believe will do the right thing. And you walk away and you let that go. Now, we all cheering, rah-rah, mad, etc. And as we're mad and getting all pissed off, they making TV commercials off of all of this. They're making TV commercials right now. Right now. And we'll advise Kim right off the cliff. Right off the cliff. Okay, I'll give it back to you.
Well, there's one thing I can say is what I learned from my time at the county is when you are under attack, you're under attack for your whole term, and one of the employees who worked for me used to work for Harold Washington, and what he said was, in Harold's term, the whole term was, you need to get reelected. If you aren't trying to become reelected during your term, then you probably going to fail. Everything you do has to be calculated. How do I get people to back me for this next time? And you got to remember, the majority of the county is not black folks.
Okay, but again, advise her right off the cliff. Because we'll be making emotional decisions. And when she gone, everybody be like, whoa. And I'm not saying she's going to be gone. I'm saying we got to step up. And it's like, we got to start silencing, like, we got to start clearing the clutter. There's too much hypothetical, non-fact-based conjecture with no political execution to it that makes it, like, who's her wartime consigliere?
I was just about, how do you get voices that are hell? Smart like me, you in the room.
You are tuned into Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Sitting in with me is Miss Cleopatra Watson, as well as Todd Stroger, and we are talking Kim Foxx in the Game of Thrones. Hey, y'all, the Lannisters are coming. In case you have not heard, the Joyces, there is a rumor, pretty substantiated, I'm going to say it's alleged, that Jerry Joyce is coming for the office of state's attorney. And I am telling you that as I talk to people outside of the black community, and there are a lot of them, they are preparing for a change in the state's attorney's office. I have been very concerned that the narrative surrounding crime in our community, or in crime and police and justice in our community, has been dominated by the social videos. We know that that there are bad cops out there and they are doing bad stuff. This is the Obama moment, right? Not the Obama moment, but this is the challenge that black people who are elected county-wide or in spaces where it's not just black, when you're not in an all-black district, that you have to take into consideration. And I think that Kim Foxx needs a wartime consigliere at this point, because the war is officially on. Cleopatra, thoughts?
Well, I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones, but on the other end, I'm a Jon Snow, Winterfell, Stark household, and honestly, I do agree with the previous caller in terms of supporting Kim and encouraging her to find her balance. We need to come out for her, and we need to when we created this Black agenda, this is a part of it. Because like Todd and I were talking off air, you'll only know the impact of one leader to the next and learn to appreciate it. In the event, God forbid, she's gone. And her impact has been just impeccable in terms of what she's trying to do. And I really want to see her, once she gets past this season, because this will not last for long, start to come out and educate what her impact truly looks like and how she's making systemic changes, because that's what she's doing. She's making systemic, grandiose, big changes. And if we show it on a granular level, people become more appreciative and come out to bat for her.
Todd.
Yes, Cleopatra is correct. You have to, and you stated it too. It's the same thing. Is she has to treat this as if the war is going on, and it started the day she got sworn in, and from that point on, everything she does is public, and she has to treat it like there is always somebody behind you with a mallet who is just waiting for the opportunity to hit you in the head, and there's got to be people who are there to make sure that that doesn't happen. So even as you run an office, there has to be people who give you practical advice that has nothing to do with being an attorney.
You know, and I'm going to tell you, I think of, so you know how I think, Todd? I think, you know, I think about the assistant state's attorney, and then when I put my political hat on, I say, where did he come from? See, I know we like to think like nobody's political, but I always think like, where did he come from? Who hired him? Who was his family? Who was his clout? Remember that before Kim got there, there were people from another generation. And it's like, man.
Well, you hit it on the head, because as you were going back, you have to remember, go back a little further, and Richard Daley was the state's attorney.
Richard Daley was the state's...
This is all the Daley line.
This is all members of the Lannister Daley clan. Now,
Anita Alvarez.
Anita Alvarez. So there was a tradition, and we took that office, but now is our state's attorney being set up for a fall so that they can take it back? You know, I want to make sure, black folks, that we understand that there is a war going on right now, and we are still trying to grow wheat and crops. It's about time we got to start sharpening them, changing them. What they call it? A sickle? What is it? A scythe? A sickle? A scythe? Start sharpening them sickles and scythes and turning them into weapons. Because while we around here talking about, would you like some nuts and berries? People are taking out their knives and they're ready to come at our girl. Kim Foxx, yo, we got to step up. We got to make sure. Check this out. Imagine being in an office where they leak your emails as soon as you send them. That means that somebody in your office ain't on your team, right? And if you don't have the purge mentality, right? If you don't got somebody that's got the stick that's coming through, like, oh, you want to send emails? Oh, you want to forward emails? Right? You going to the courthouse in Bumblefludge. They're now, black folks, we got to start tooling them. Let me tell you what, when I talk to you about that 50 people in 18 wards, you're going to need to be doing that times 4 or 5 in every ward, in every township, because we are going to have to put on our armor and strap up to save Kim Foxx. Y'all, they are doing it right now. Look, the Justice Department just said that this was outrageous, and they are prepared to look into this case. What happens when the feds come? Right? Jussie Smollett, they've dragged this Tina Chin. Tina Chin apparently handled all of the Hollywood celebrities for the Obama White House. Now, what is going to make the president go crazy more than anything? The opportunity to get somebody from the Obama White House. And meanwhile, our Kim Foxx is Daenerys Targaryen without the dragons. Before she became the real queen of the Dothraki. And so now, y'all, where are the dragons? Where is the black defense? Where is our organization, our strategy, our wartime chieftains that are ready to hold it down? It's the Talk of Chicago. We'll be back after traffic, news, and the weather. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. You see how my musical conductor get with you, man? Y'all ain't ready. See, that's you know, like that's like the organist in the church, right? You saw the crescendo. You see how she brought the music. You saw how she raised it. See, it's like we got a vibe. It's like we got a kismet soul. She like, my man is doing it, and I'm about to turn the music up. Game of Thrones. Y'all ready to take y'all calls? Dun dun dun. Y'all got it. Bravo! Bravo! Genius! Pure genius.
That was well done.
Well, you got it down.
Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be somebody in the camp who sees a
there.
bigger
But
picture.
that's scary though too. Like when you don't know. You know what my biggest fear always stepping into leadership. It's like this political apparatus.
Just getting shanked?
No, well, that too, but
I've
not
been shanked and it hurts.
right. That's what I'm saying. Not knowing who's walking with me.
Right.
Like, and how much you willing to be bought for?
Right.
You know, 'cause there's always a price. Everybody want to
That's
lie
it.
and say that it ain't no price. It's always a price, and ultimately, I want whoever it is to look me square in the eye and tell me what it was it worth.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever it is, and that's just the type of person I am. So I'm always fearful that I don't ever want to be too far removed that ain't nobody gonna check me, or at least
Right,
tell
because you
me,
need that. You need that.
or at least tell me what's going on. What are they saying outside of here? Because people got to remember that there's fear. It's the atmosphere, it's the stratosphere, it's the hemisphere, right? So the level that I'm in my own bubble, right? Even when I was running. But outside this bubble was happening. And then outside of that bubble was another bubble. And I'm always, not always past
You sound like you're ready.
But that's how I think though. Like for real, like I'm always thinking like, you know, whoever's with me, are they gonna keep it 100? And then two, when it's time for you to be bought, just let me know when you're gonna go up 5. I've been bought you out, and then you can just go.
Yeah, right.
On out.
Right.
That's how I feel. But to know that there's somebody in her camp, that's scary. Like, and she inherited people, so I didn't even think about that. Like, typically.
But see, that's what happened with me. I inherited my dad's people, but that didn't necessarily mean they were my people.
True.
And, you know, they kind of, a lot of people felt like, I'm free. And then they're free to do whatever they want.
Well, you know what I see, so let's talk about CBS.
What?
It's been what,
Yes.
5 CEOs in 7 years. And I've only been with the board. I was with the board 7 years, so only person I haven't experienced for real is Janice. Right? Everybody else.
That's the labor
cost.
cost.
Right.
And what I've seen growing up professionally is that the CEO, the team. I've known people to get fired. I mean, I just seen it clear house. So in CPS, it led me to believe, which was a misnomer, because everybody don't have that autonomy, that you can come in and just, all right, y'all, what is October 20th? Y'all go
Sadiq, what up, dog?
So that's what I saw.
Latasha
But
Watkins.
apparently that's not
Chief
how
dog,
it
what up,
works.
dog? What up, Carlton Brown?
And-
Rose
and-
Dean,
like
Andre
what
Smith,
the state's attorney,
Alice
which,
Rooks.
is a
What up,
professional
Milan
office.
Rush?
And you got all these lawyers.
Q, what up,
When you
Q?
get there, you want to keep some
What
people
up?
who have some.
What up, Madam President?
You know, like the history, knowledge of.
What up, Ronald Rockwell?
historical knowledge.
Lorraine Little? What up?
Yeah, but they.
Jesse
that means they
Ruben
came from
Juarez,
someplace else.
Tanya Robinson,
But
Patrick
you don't wanna come out and
Judas,
fall
What
in
up,
your face
King?
because you don't know nothing about
Martin,
that.
my
But how you
aunt,
go in there cheering?
my
See,
aunt.
like, okay, in the CEO office, like one of my good friends worked for Bob. Man, they cleared house. When Bob was gone, so I was like, okay, that.
But and I mean,
It was tainted.
Right.
It was tainted.
Yeah.
But
so-
I seen them do it every time. You knew, yeah, I'm gonna cut this department, I'm gonna do this. You kind of already knew it. And they were coming in with their people. They were
What up,
coming in with
Laverne?
assessments with their people. So you knew.
What up, Terry?
But you also have to remember in this, where this is an elected official,
This is different.
What up, Kevin
This is why I had
Johnson?
to
there are
start
people
my
in that
program.
office, just like Mays was insinuating, there's people in that office who
Yeah.
come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So, let's say that,
What up,
I'm
Janus?
trying to say somebody who can't get in trouble. So let's
What up,
say
Nettie?
that Well, your guy, Anthony Bill. Let's say that he is connected to one of the attorneys who are there. So he'll tell Kim, that's one of my guys, he'll be with you.
Oh yeah, okay, I know
So,
what you're saying.
Yeah, so there'll be people all throughout, white,
Sure.
black, and Hispanic, who might say the
That
same
makes
thing.
sense.
But that doesn't make it true.
No, it doesn't. Which is scary. It goes back to, stepping in this water, just period, for my first time. It was like, well, why would you let me have that? Why took you so long?
Alonzo, you got Daenerys Stormborn Targaryen. Dang, Alonzo, you put it down. We gotta give her some dragons, though. She gotta get the dragons, dog.
What do I do? Because when I was working,
Who is Kim's dragon?
you ain't calling Ghostbusters.
Let's call them Kim's dragons. What up,
You just don't know
Jerome?
who they are.
So, I think I was having this conversation with her, and then I was like, well, you always should be leery, especially.
What's up, y'all? Look, we gotta give us some dragons. Can I tell y'all what? If it wasn't Kim Foxx, I would be a
The only
Lannister.
person that really gets to pick for real is the man.
For real.
Like, when you're talking about all of these positions, and then you don't still.
That's the
know
reason.
who
That's
pick.
why the reason the mayor is ultra powerful. So
Yeah, I
people
see
think
that.
this election is just no. This election is somebody who will decide what's going on probably for at least the next 8 years.
No, I think this is a one-timer.
No.
It depends
Once
on
you become the mayor,
performance.
the only way to
gotta do some
get you is
egregious.
yes, you better. The mayor just killed some kid.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Jane Byrne.
or
or raise everybody's taxes.
Yeah, that's egregious. That's on the
yeah,
line
that's
of
what
egregious.
She
Right.
decided I am going to piss off all black people.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
You gotta
it's
have
possible.
more than black people to get
It's
in.
possible.
No, it's possible, but you have to actually want to do it.
When you
Yeah.
tell everybody they gotta pay for they gotta put a $2.30 on their haircut, people gonna be mad.
But that,
Or
but,
try
you
to
know,
price tax their car.
but that's not in our power. That's one of those things where people start talking and they don't actually have the power to do it. That would be a state thing. The state decides that kind of stuff.
We're back. So what you on? You with Jerry Joyce, Patrick? I don't understand what you're saying, and it ain't even a Greek thing. It's really it's like really the fact of the matter is we got a black state's attorney that has been active. It's just she not political. That's my point. My point is that she ain't got to be a prop. We didn't elect her to be a wartime person, but she got to be able to do the pieces of the job.
All things ain't what
They need to start closing it up. We gonna have us some rules. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger, as well as Cleopatra Watson. Hey, y'all, if you...
That's what we need more from our artists. Not to talk just about violence, but to have a message to it. That's what artists used to do. They don't really do that much anymore.
I'm going to tell you, Marvin lost a few cool points with me. I love Marvin Gaye. He lost a few cool points with
Even
me.
people who knew him, they were like, man, I love me some Marvin. But he was crazy. And I'm talking about people like the professionals who worked with him.
Okay, well, I know that. The thing I remember is the whole Marlon Brando thing. And after I heard that, I was like, dang, Mr. Mercy, Mercy Me. That really bothered me just a little bit.
He had some issues. He had real issues, not just tiny issues. He had big issues.
He had big issues. Well, look, y'all. It is the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. That voice you heard in the background was Todd Stroger, as well as Miss Cleopatra Watson. Hey, y'all. So I've been saying that Kim Foxx is Daenerys Storm. She's Daenerys Targaryen before she became Stormborn, before she became the Mother of Dragons, and I know y'all like, what the hell is this? This is this is a Game of Thrones metaphor as it relates to what is going on for Kim Foxx. And I'm going to tell you that Kim Foxx needs some dragons. She needs some people that get the game and are that are going into wartime mode. The campaign for Kim actually started the day after she got elected, but right now, the full court press is on. See, what I'm telling y'all now is these are TV commercials being made. Right? Every news flash, y'all know how y'all hear those TV commercials and they be like, and then they use the newscaster and it's the report and it makes it all official. And then remember how I told y'all how they used to pass bills in Springfield so that they could make headlines for mail and TV commercials? I try to tell y'all don't, but you know what? Y'all wouldn't believe me when I told y'all this. Now I want y'all to pay attention to all of these stories. They're going to be connected. You have now seen this story jump all the way to Fox News nationally, right? So now there is this whole thing about Cook County tainted, etc. Yeah, we have got to start tooling up. I think that the Toni Preckwinkle election should show us, if it shows us nothing else, that we have got to rebuild our political infrastructure. That we have got to teach the game. We gotta start clearing out some of these hypotheticals. We gotta start clearing out some of this intangible thoughts, and we need to start sharpening our swords and making sure that we got people that are prepared and strategically ready to go to battle. Let's go to the phone lines. Brother Hall, you on the Talk Chicago, 1690 AM. What's up, my brother?
Thank you so much, Maze. I hope you give me a couple of minutes, brother, because I want to tie it all in. First of all, let me just say, if you recall, Maze, the Green Team have always sharpened their knives and they keep them sharp. Let's go back to 89. Let's go back to 89. Daly was appointed. Daly ran, won after we went to court. Some people went to court because Mayor Mumbles couldn't talk. Daly won the race. Back then, they gave us the party to serve out those little few months. They came back, the Green Team came back with Jack O'Malley, and which was a Republican, and took the seat. Now, what am I saying? The first deputy can make you or break you. Mm-hmm. Jack O'Malley's first deputy was Chris Orozco. Chris Orozco told Jack, hey, listen, man, let's go with this guy, Mel Reynolds. Now, remember, at the same time, there was a homeless man that was killed by the police. Got off. Jack O'Malley followed Chris Orozco's advice and ended up retiring. So, to your point, when you said Kim Foxx, where did this first deputy come from? I think that's the bigger question, and we need to deal with that. And again, for all those people, Art, and all the ones out there, where's your machine at now? You got 110 counts. Have a good day.
Oh, wait. Brother Hall put that history. He just put that history on you. I'm telling y'all right now.
He's first assistant.
I'm gonna tell you, he's first assistant, right? That's
first deputy.
Okay,
Assistant.
but that's the spot though. He probably just used it. But check this out, y'all. I'm just telling y'all that you have to pay attention. That things ain't what y'all seem. You'd be like, oh, we got it right here, and the game is 4 levels deep. And right now, what you are watching is the TV commercials. You are watching the campaign being built as we speak. Let's go to Mel Clark. Mel, you on the Talk Chicago, 1690 AM. What's up, my man?
This is a lady.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, you know what? That happens to me all the time.
Hello.
Even though mother and I went to school together. Listen, let me say this. I'm going to tell you all why Kim is being the scapegoat. And listen to me carefully. The problem is, and the reason they're sealing the file on this case is because that boy's right to due process was violated, first of all, by the police department by leaking to everybody, the press and everything. Then they gave the information to the mayor and to Mr. Johnson. They went crazy on it. They held this boy's trial in the public arena instead of going by due process. Due process is procedure. They proceeded wrong. They violated. They're all officers of the court, elected officials, police officers. They took an oath to uphold the Constitution, and they violated it. That's why they sealed it, to protect all the people that was involved in all of Power did. They fired a lot of people simply because they pulled the boy's name up on the computer because they violated the Privacy Act called HIPAA. This is about saving face for a bunch of people. So they letting Kim take a fall for it. This was bigger than her. All this stuff was bigger than her.
It's bigger than her.
Disturbed by her.
Thank you, sister.
I'm gonna influence this situation.
I'm gonna tell y'all.
And the reason she recused herself, when she saw the way it was going, she stepped aside. She didn't want any part of it. This is all about saving face for the people who leaked and violated that boy's rights. That's why they could go to court and make them seal that file up, because they don't want to be known that they caused it to, the case to fall through.
Thank you, Miss Clark. I'm gonna tell y'all, I agree that it's bigger. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know this. It's all gonna be in a campaign commercial. And if we don't have a game plan, if y'all ain't sitting down thinking about what is our wartime strategy, we gonna have an issue. Let's go to Bill. Bill, you wanna talk Chicago 1690?
Gentlemen, how you doing?
We all right.
I'm just gonna say that this, to me, this is standard procedure for human beings being on Earth. Meaning that the powers that be will always push back when they don't like the moves you make. And so let's look at the history of this country and the Native Americans and all the peace treaties that were broken. All of that is reversal anytime somewhere somebody in power doesn't like the moves that somebody else makes. They push against Donald Trump in terms of whatever he does. Now it's just, look at Ty Stroger. They pushed against him because they didn't like the tax, the 1% or 1 cent tax. The powers that be will always be looking over your shoulder to see what moves you're making and what openings they can kind of crack through to push their way through. Rahm Emanuel's known for that kind of nonsense. You know, he's just petty, but he's a current day representation of the powers that be. When they don't like what you do, they're going to push back, and they're going to look for something wrong to make you look bad.
All right, well, I'm going to tell y'all what. The Game of Thrones is on. When we come back, we'll finish your calls. Plus, take your comments. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson.
Amen. I just got a message. My fiance called the president Cheeto. Cheeto just tweeted about this.
Yeah, right.
Talking about it's outrageous. No, a lot of things are outrageous, and this ain't one of them. But I appreciate.
Oh, this shit is outrageous. It's gonna be outrageous.
She got a point about that violation in his due process.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
Yeah. Once they arrest you, you ain't got no rights anymore.
And they leaked. I mean,
they leaked everything.
I mean, but who got you to the leak? They leak everything on everything.
This is true. But shit, you ain't think she had a point?
No, I don't think so. I mean, everything is that happens to you is public information. So, you know, once you are in the government system, it's all part of it. So.
Not even HIPAA?
He didn't have any HIPAA rights. HIPAA is actually health rights. That's a hospital. What that meant? What about? Oh, this is a commercial.
Oh, this for Leslie. This won't hurt you, Leslie.
That was very professional.
That sounds like a blue-haired Daniel Davis. Hey, cool.
Daniel Davis.
Did you finally see the commercial Will got out? Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
maybe I should look that up.
Yeah, you
Friends
should
on
do
there.
it. Oh, man.
Is that what you take? You take the Ryan to get out?
What do you say?
Well, I live right off of Stony Island, so and it's a easy ride. But I've been on the Ryan like at 5,
so
and
you
it's
should
still
just
kind of
also
ugly.
Swing Stony there, huh?
Really.
Oh, okay, I'll do that then. Yeah, I definitely do. We're always up here. But I easily can swing you, but that's what I love about where I'm at. No.
Is this it? No.
No. I've never seen that.
Yeah, is this a commercial? I gotta think about it. It looks like one.
No, it's just promo.
All right, y'all. Take a moment to share the broadcast.
That's commercial, ABC. See, for Windows Braves, we had significant name recognition already.
Yeah.
I know.
You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. We are talking political Game of Thrones. You know what? My girl, Kim Foxx, is Daenerys Stormborn. You know what I mean? She is Daenerys Targaryen. And I'm telling you that she needs some dragons. And black folks, I don't know if we have put our dragons together yet. I don't know if our political dragons are ready to go on the war and are not ready to be are not developed. But we got to make sure we protect Kim Foxx. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all what. There's a full-on onslaught about to come on. With everything that is going on Chicago, we got to turn out the vote just to make sure, if for no other reason, that people understand that we are a force to be reckoned with. But we got to make sure that we build our army and we start preparing for war, because the war is on right now. And it's like black folks, they see us stumbling, and now they trying to pull out the sword and come get us. So what we going to do, y'all? Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Sean. Sean, you're on the Talk Chicago 16-9 day. Sean, you're on the Talk Chicago. Take it off mute. Sean, going. Uh-oh. Did I see this man on the news yesterday? Did I see him holding press conferences? Did I hear him saying, give us our, we want our rights? This is my man. One of the original members of What's in It for the Black People, former candidate of the 20th Ward, Andre Smith. Andre, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning. Well, let me say to the radio audience, there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide. You must come to What's in It for the Black People. We are the only voice, and the only voice that's not sold or bought out that's out there. Second of all, the Queen has made many enemies. And as Malcolm said, the chickens are coming home to roost. The kingdom is falling. The castle is on fire. It's time for that to crumble, and it's time for us to start uniting right now and to strike. It's time to strike and to organize and take these positions.
Hey man, that is Andre Smith. Let me say this, Andre. I believe that there's quite a few organizations that are not bought, that are not paid. We just got to click them all together. I don't want to denigrate anybody for what they're doing. It's like everybody, we just got to understand what everybody's goal is. Where you want to be, because if we can understand where you want to be, then we're not upset when you get yours and you get your piece. You just got to bring something back to the crib. Let's go to Albert. Albert, you want to Talk Chicago 1690.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I was calling about the Kim Foxx scandal. She was visited by the people, first of all. But I don't know, what confuses me is when all these three half-truth-telling officers about Laquan McDonald, and then they gave his wife all this airtime and all this nonsense time, his sentence didn't match his sentence didn't match his guilt. But now they want to, and I just don't understand. I mean, every time somebody do something right, it's a problem.
See, but this is so to take that off. See, this is the problem, y'all. Y'all are agriculture. Y'all are still out here digging, trying to plant while everybody else is at war mode. So you like, she did a good thing. It was so nice. We are so happy. And the warlike people like, can we cook that? Can we eat them? And it's like, y'all like, but I'm just telling you. So when they come burn your crops, well, take your crops, y'all got to see how the Dothraki do it. See, the Dothraki rolled through, they kill the men, they then do all types of terrible things to the women, and then make the kids all slaves. And meanwhile, y'all like, but she was so nice. Look, y'all, where are the dragons? Where are the black dragons in the black community? Tony, you want to talk Chicago 1690? Tony, you want to talk Chicago 1690? All right, and on the guest line, it is Dorothy Tillman. Go ahead, Dr. Tillman.
Good morning, Mr. Moving Star. I've been seeing you all over TV. You're a moving star. Well, you move.
Yeah, I know. You got to watch it.
Up the dragons. We old folks are counseling young folks are warriors. We want the young folks to become warriors, and we're there to counsel you. You know, they got to do more than talk. Let me just say, it's very simple what's going on with Kim Foxx. I told you, Jeremiah Joyce cut a deal with Lightfoot to get the state's attorney. So they don't want to wait for the election if she get taken out, then the appointment happen. Not only Jeremiah Joyce, the next person they're going to come after is Kwame. They're going to dismantle the political empowerment that we as people don't see. So this is really, try to understand what I'm saying. This is about the 19th Ward, the northwest side, the southwest side, the fraternal order police, and all of these folks who are supporting Lori Lightfoot. And the black community don't understand because you can't, you're a PK. You know, you have to give up. They can't understand from hate. They cannot think straight, Maze, because when you hate about one little thing, and rather than thinking about the whole, I told people 2 weeks ago that they was coming for Kim Foxx. You know, you got to remember that Lori Lightfoot comes from the federal government, so she knows what buttons to push and who to send after who. That's why a lot of the husbands stay rough being quiet because they want them to send them after them. But it's very simple. Lori Lightfoot, Jeremiah Joyce cut a deal to take the state's attorney off. When I see O'Shea in the paper trying to attack Bobby Rush, I mean, that says a lot for the 19th Ward because he got the, Major said, what's in it for the black folks? He got general service. He got the job. So all those deals been cut. And we're sitting right here not really, truly understanding what's going on. Kwame is in danger. You know, we have a lieutenant governor. You look at all the things that we've done, but Kwame is the next because they will not allow black folks to hold those positions. Now, Kim made a tactical error yesterday. She should not have been on television. She should have went home, rest, got her voice together. She was had recused herself, let the person who did it, let them talk, and she come out next week to be prepared. But here again, you have young people, and she came out and said, no, I'm going to defend my office, not knowing how they're really setting up. The fix is in. They want to go. And the community have to understand that, yes, we got to prepare for war. We should stay in a war mode. You know, when times of peace, you prepare for war. But this political thing is much deeper than Kim. It's about the Joyce family, Jeremiah Joyce and their family, who want that seat and how they want all of the power back. So that's all. And I want to say one thing, Todd. You might remember Mel Clark. You need to know her, Maze. Mel Clark was back in the day with your father and Harold and all that. She helped get Harold Washington in, played a big role. But she had a group, Maze, that you might want to know about called Women, the Women Economic Group. And they was like a group of people who dealt, black women who dealt with economics. So when you hear Mel Clark, know that she paid her dues and she worked hard on behalf of black people. And when she say that it's bigger than Kim, you have to listen to it. That's why I call.
All right, that is Dr. Dorothy Tillman, y'all. You know she is always ready to give us some knowledge and information. I tell y'all what, we better be ready for war. I did want to talk about Kim coming on yesterday. I think she should have not ever claimed that. left that to Joe McGatt, and then came back when her voice was strong. You gotta always appear strong. Perception is the reality. Look, y'all, we gotta get some dragons going. We'll talk about it all, plus uncomfortable conversations when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation.
So here's what I'm gonna say. So one more time. What's the matter? Oh, I saw that. That's all. This is what I'm gonna say right now. So here's the challenge we got right now. Like I told y'all, all of us are on one side of the boat, and so now, as all the white boys cut their deals, so this is me. Unless something dramatic happens, Lori Lightfoot is probably going to win. That's not me. That's just, let's say, the tea leaves. In the attempt to build a rally around Tony Preckwinkle with the Battlestar Galactica band, what we have essentially done is chopped ourselves out of the new administration so that we will be left with all of the scraps. Now, I've been saying we should have sent an emissary to the other side and been like, you be the black person on the team. Not that everybody has to do it, because again, right now, if Jeremiah Joyce did cut the deal, he was smart as hell, because he did it by the... So again, what you're saying is we are taking victory in sticking together as we go to the oven, right? As compared to saying we're sticking together and we're going to make sure that we're a solid block, or that we have a solid block that can get us something from the other side. Now, let me tell you what I already know. What I already know is that there are wealthy black people that have already funneled and started building relationships with Lori, because they can see. Now, they still telling us, stay right here, stay right here, stay right here, but they're in business. And so as they are businessmen go where the business is. Now, they rah-rahing over here, they standing in solidarity, but slowly they are working their way into the new administration, while we are still standing right here. So the train is coming. We are like, we can stop the train. Now, perhaps we could stop the train if there was an organized plan to stop the train. There is a ragtag band of disparate groups that are... This reminds me of Game of Thrones when the wildlings came into the battle, and the wildlings didn't fight. They didn't have no organization. They just swung their axes and did whatever, and they won by brute strength. But when there was an organized approach, then their asses got whacked. And so all of our people right now in this thing are encouraging us to stay in a burning building. That is what essentially they are doing, and saying that we should all die together and let's die in solidarity. Now, while there are people that are going out the back door like, bust that, I'm not about to die in this mug. I can see the writing on the walls. And to shame people from saying, I told you we should have somebody in every camp, so that we always have a bridge into that. Always. Saying that nobody of stature that has a real stick in the black community went on that side. So, don't be mad if J. Maul Green is the most influential black person in Lori Lightfoot's administration for your side, for our community. Right? Don't be mad. Don't be mad if, hey man, if it's my man Anthony Beckham, I'm cool with that. But I'm just saying to you, like, this has been the most ridiculous exercise that I have ever seen in my, not the most, but it is, I just cannot believe that in spite of, no, because he had to do 7:45. Can we, I'm going to talk about it, but he's not calling in. Leave that door open.
Okay. Kim calling in now?
No, 8:30, and Karen is coming in. So, what I'm telling y'all is, it's like, you're right, I don't know nothing. I don't know. Can I also point out something? Because somebody asked about rum. So I just want to point something out because I actually was right. So I suggested in the last election that black people support Ron because if Chewy would have became the mayor, he would have been the mayor longer, right? I said that we should support Ron and take 4 years to organize and we could elect the black mayor. Now, here's what did not happen. In 4 years, we did not organize. Rahm Emanuel is gone and we are about to elect a black mayor that really no black people chose. But I was right. I just want to point that out. I just didn't know it was going to be Tony and Lori. But I did say black people vote for Rahm because he's going to get his ass up out of here. Right now, if Chewy was running, he would be on his re-election campaign.
You would.
You do now have a black mayor about to happen. But y'all don't want to hear me though, right? I did. And I just want to also point out to all the smart mugs that I said that before there was Laquan tape.
Well, yes. But that's the reason why Ron's on. Yeah. But that was going to catch up to him. I mean, we didn't realize that 4 years ago. But as soon as it became public, it was over for him. He didn't know where he was going.
So I just want to point y'all out. Like I be trying to tell y'all, but y'all don't want to hear me. So now, while y'all spend 4 years trying to repost the picture of that photo to try and discredit a brother, we could have took that time and built us an organization and been ready, and then it wouldn't have been Lori or Tony. But you know, every time I said something, y'all was like, but you supported Ron. You told us to support Ron. Couldn't see the forest for the trees, could you? I be trying to tell y'all. I be trying. It's the Maestradamus Monk.
Checkers or checkers? Checkers or what?
Chess.
Checkers.
They want to play. Man, we playing tiddlywinks.
Come out right. I just didn't know how to get it.
Maze, you crazy. Vote for him and he could be gone. Black mayor, we'll have it in 4 years. Black mayor, we're going to have one in 4 years.
Wake up! Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show.
Wake up!
Call 773-591-1690. Wake up!
That's from last year. This is from September.
When glorious, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green with the key, sissies. Abracadabra. Well, funky lesson. Y'all don't know about X-Clan.
Oops.
And ready or not, here we come, getting down for the one that we believe. One nation under a groove. Gonna get it on a good foot. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Ty Stroger, as well as... Yes, you remember X-Clan? Van Glorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green, you sissies. Oh, we'll get in trouble if we say that, though, nowadays. All right, now, got to say what's up to Cleopatra Watson. She's in the building, as well as Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, and the Wonder Twins. That's right, Miss Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins. Hey, y'all, now, let me tell y'all what. We're going to continue this conversation, but you all, I got to do this. My man Joe Walsh got meetings all day, but today at midnight, the podcast dropped. Uncomfortable Conversations. That's uncomfortable-conversations.com. And Joe Walsh and I, now if you all know who Joe Walsh is a founder of the Tea Party. That's right, the founder of the Tea Party. And myself, Mays Jackson, I like to consider myself the most vociferous advocate for black self-interest in the city of Chicago. We have started to embark upon this podcast to have conversations that black folks and white folks don't tend to have. So yesterday we talked about a couple things. We talked about the Jussie Smollett situation and Kim Foxx, and I'm going to tell you all, white folks are livid, and I think that this thing is going to take on a national perspective. Can I tell you what else we got into yesterday?
Yes.
We got into who keeps their house clean, black people or white people.
What?
Real talk. I mean, I don't know how we got there. But I had to let them have it. Because I was like, you know how white folks be having, they let the animals walk all on the counter. Right, they be having raisins and the raisins and the potato salad. I mean, we went there yesterday. It was a really interesting.
What are we known for?
He was like
plastic on our couch.
He tried to say we
can't
don't
go in the front room.
Screen door always ripped up. It ain't never.
No, you man. See that? See,
ain't never together.
That's what y'all see. He was trying to say that yesterday, and I was like,
the plastic was your grandmother saying, and your mother at that time. Saying you can't sit on this, you can't do this. They were on it.
Well, he was talking about, he tried to say that black folks didn't keep their houses clean, their front yards clean. Now, I'm going to say this.
That's because white folks don't come to black neighborhoods. They don't know nothing about us.
Right. I tried to tell him, I said, why? Because you got the Latinos cutting your grass in Barrington. Right? It went down, but it was a great conversation. I want to encourage you all to download the podcast. Go to uncomfortable-conversations.com. You can download it on iTunes. But why don't you subscribe to iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify? You know what? Spotify. Check it out. I am going to tell you. Oh, and we talked about President Trump. I think Joe. I said yesterday I want to meet with President Trump. And people,
I know Joe doesn't like President Trump.
Joe does not like President Trump. I, on the other hand, believe that if black people, got a real meeting with Trump, and I said if I had a meeting with Trump, I would just do it on Facebook Live so y'all couldn't call me a sellout. And then I would say, President Trump, do you want to be the greatest president for black people ever? I would say, give us reparations because Barack Obama didn't do it. And he would be like, Mace, you know what? I'm going to do that bigly. And I'm going to make I'm telling you, if you told him, like how he fighting for the wall, if you told him, and black people probably go for like 20 billion. Look, you twisting your mouth up.
Man, Mace, he would see that, where am I going to make out in this? Where is the money for me? And
he probably just
couldn't tell him, he'd be like, all right, I'll do that, Mace. See you later.
I think I agree to an extent that in the history books, I think that's what he's infatuated with, is how will he be remembered. And for what it's worth, when it comes to black people, if somebody can come with the configuration and bring that to fruition, they go down epically.
This is epic. I must disagree. He already knows that he is the best president that's ever been here.
That's ever lived.
Yeah, but I think he's trying to cement his legacy.
Right yeah, exactly.
That's why I think President Trump wants to. I think you could really. I think that's why you saw Jack Johnson. I mean, the man talking about pardoning Marcus Garvey. I know y'all gonna hate, but I'm saying we cannot what is that? We cannot. I'm hearing things.
That was pretty loud.
Yeah.
Right. I am not trying to say that we want to be with President Trump, but I am saying that we gotta negotiate with everybody. And if we don't, then our legislature.
But you're talking little stuff. You're talking about what people like to give you to make you feel good. I feel good that Marcus Garvey has been.
He hasn't yet.
Well, that he's trying to do it, but in the real world, how does that affect?
But Todd, who's making the ask? You know what I'm saying? It's like again, you're leaving the ask up to white people. So the white people are proposing all this. So Kim Kardashian is the person that's making the ask for black people. That's why you keep getting little stuff. Because you got Kim Kardashian already got the big stuff. She already got the implants. She already got Kanye, right? She doing her thing. She like, look, I got more black people free in the last 4 years than who? Than our state legislature, than our Congress. And all I'm saying is, y'all know that this fool.
You gotta ask for something. I'm with you.
All I'm saying is, you
gotta give him a chance to say no.
Right, and then you can say you said no.
Right.
But see, that's what y'all say. But somebody just put, let me stop. Let's go to the phone lines. We're gonna move on. Kevin, you on the Talk Chicago 1690? What's up, my man? Kevin. Ooh, Kevin, you don't be holding up my lines. Only got 4 of these mugs. Kevin, you on Talk Chicago 1690? All right, bye, Kevin. Next up, Lance. Lance from Boston. Boston.
Peace and peace be upon you, my brother and sisters, from God our Father and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Excellent show, Mays, and to your astute, guest. Excellent show. I just wanted to call just to let you know that there's black folks. First of all, I love black people. All that I am, black people made me. All the places that I've gone to, black people have sent me. So I don't have any problem loving black people. And so my particular thoughts is we don't have to be worried about anything that our enemies do to us. God is in total control. God has, delivered us to this particular point. And it just appears that black people need to go ahead and focus more, on ourselves rather than to be, sidetracked by all these, tangential things, talking about Putin and talking about immigration. We need to focus on ourselves. And if we could do that and do that consistently, many of our problems will go away. And lastly, I think that an individual really needs to go ahead and focus on all of the great books that Dr. Claude Anderson has written, and lastly, and put some respect on her name, Miss Tillman, who's on the radio each and every Saturday.
Thank you, my brother Lance. We got to wrap it out. But I'm going to tell y'all what he said. Just give it to the Lord. And I'm going to tell you, Jesus can work it out. But I'm going to tell y'all what, y'all better vote. Jesus can, and he worked it out. Wow, yeah, we'll be back after traffic and the weather. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That problems that I had, and I could not seem to solve.
Mace has been running from his calling all his life.
I cried. What's my call?
To be a mega preacher.
I'm gonna open the church of what's in it for the black people. We're gonna start. We're gonna open the church. We are gonna open the church of what's in it for the black people. We are gonna be on Sundays, but it will be a black nationalist message every Sunday. We're gonna give you your church and God all in one spot. How about that?
If you don't consume an already made church, I'm gonna be upset. just repurpose it, whatever it is.
We're going to write black nationalist hymns. We're going to play X-Clan to start the service. Y'all going to come? So if we had Sunday services instead of meetings, what?
You go to a place that has, like, in our ward, the end of
would y'all come? I'm saying what's in it for the black people church. Church of the Wiftable. Teach your kids how to be black conscious. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being on Sundays, instead of going to church, we go to, and we have a spiritual component, but it's all the periods. We take care of the business, but we come back with outcomes. I'm saying.
Maybe might open the door for a little pantry here and now.
To the east, my brothers, to the east. Y'all coming to the church of Wiftable? I'm just telling you. Y'all don't believe me. I'm telling you, we're going to have Church of the Western for the black people. And on Sundays, we're going to do all of it except for it's going to be black focused. Black focused. Announcements, you name it, the whole thing.
Eric, seeing open that one. And it's a magnificent chick. I mean, it is absolutely.
All right, y'all. We're gonna talk about it.
On,
Church of the What's in It for the Black people.
13.
I'm telling you, we could build something.
Oh.
We could build our young people up too.
It used to be, that was where Obama had his office at. It used to be a Catholic church.
I cried.
Is that like right next to the park?
I tried.
Yeah, I passed by there 2 times.
Don't let me too late.
Then I drive and I see these little remnants. I really wish that we would do something in that regard. Like, case in point, my best friend lives in Houston. Yeah, I got a few mega churches here and there, but it's not. Those can be. I have too much of a homeless population for us to be soaking up land that is not being utilized. You know, I really have a problem with that, but I don't want to offend anybody. But what does it benefit? If you can't tell me the benefit of, you say that in every relationship, marriage, anything. There's no benefit or a gain or a reason why, then why does it exist at all?
No, yeah, you're right about that.
You know, so I'm always looking at things from a logical standpoint. If it don't make sense, my daddy said, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. But if it don't make logical sense, and it doesn't provide you a benefit nor a gain, what are you winning?
You're not winning.
And that's why we're crippled. And they get us to think. Always trying to get us to fight. You got the right side. Depending on which side of the cup you're looking at.
Yeah, they don't know what
Well, you know, people. I'm not certain if it's correct or correct, but people use religion as a crutch. Instead of trying to fight the tough battle, it's like, well, we'll give everything to Jesus.
Jam, pump it up.
Sounds good, but you know, you gotta do something for yourself.
That has his own. You know, there's so many words within the word that you can use to your advantage, depending on the type of mood you're in, whether or not you want to fight.
Yes.
Mike, you could be that deacon of security at the joint, bro. Make sure you come in, you get the pat down. Uh-oh. Look, Sonya back at her joint.
You can see she been to the club a few times.
Up the jam, pump it up. Feet are stumping. What the gym is pumping.
I'm sure the kids love her.
A little more.
On the dance floor.
I come in, they just be like, Miss Watson. Everybody come Sonya.
How do I beg you to stay? Get your booty on the floor tonight. Make my day. Make my day. Make my day. You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is former Cook County Board President Todd Stroger. I got Cleopatra Watson in the building. Let me tell y'all what, coming up, we are going to be talking about last night's debate. We're going to be talking to Kimberly Agoin, as well as Miss Karen Riley from the Business Leadership Council. Yeah, we got to get this vote out, and so she will be talking to us about the efforts that the BLC has been. The BLC is the Business Leadership Council. The work that they have been putting in to turn out the vote. I actually got a grant to help turn out the vote, to help get people out. If you noticed on all of our Facebook Live broadcasts, we have always been driving black people because we got to get our weight up. So we're going to talk about that at 8:30 plus again. Kimberly Agoin. We'll talk about the debate that was put on by the BLC, Ida's Legacy, CBS 2, and of course WVON. But let me do this. Let's go back to the phone lines. And let's get these last few calls out. Is that cool? Y'all cool with that? Good.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
Let's start with Art. Art, you on the Talk of Chicago. Don't curse me out today, man. I'm working hard. Art, you on the Talk of Chicago? Art. Artemis. May God bless. Art. May God bless. We'll move on to Earl. Earl, you're on the Talk of Chicago, 1690. Earl. Do, cover. Earl. Do cover. Do. All right, neither one of y'all there? Y'all clear my phone line, because we talking about my girl Kim Foxx. You all know that I believe in the political Game of Thrones. We have got to protect Kimberly Foxx. The dogs are out. The Wolves are, you know what? So the Lannister, can I tell y'all what? If this wasn't Kim Foxx, I probably would be a Lannister in this case. I think I have to be of the dragons this time. But I'm going to be honest with you. Can I be true honest?
Be true.
Man, I admire, y'all going to get mad at me, but I admire the Joyces. I admire the Joyces politically. You know why? Because they get the job done. Now, unfortunately, the job is usually on us. But you know, you want to be with the winner. But I just think in this case, y'all, Kim is the girl. But I would tell you, I learned so much from this family, from a political standpoint, on how, like, you know, when you be like, oh, this junk is real, for real, for real. Mm-hmm. When I realized like politics was for real, was when I talked to who I consider Tywin Lannister, Jeremiah Joyce. That dude, like, when you met the dude, it's like, you know how you meet somebody and they seem so unassuming, and then you realize like they got power.
Right.
Like you'd be like, hey, Mr. Joyce, and then you'd be like, oh damn.
Yeah, because he is a kind of a laid back, kind of quiet talker. Yeah.
But I bleed you out. You will be bled out. You got what do they call that? He will disembowel you, and you will be standing up and don't even realize it happened. Mm-hmm. Right? And so, y'all, I am saying that how do we start to, man, it's like not this. I want to say it's the Lannisters, but it almost feels like the White Walkers are coming. Because when they come, they charge you like, huh? Like I'm talking about they taking no prisoners. The White Walkers be like, either you in or you gone. You dead. Get down or lay. In the words of Beanie Siegel, get down or lay down. And they will lay you down. Real talk. But I gotta say, we gotta make sure that we have built up our own army.
Yes.
We have built up that the House of Targaryen has its dragons, and we are ready. Plus, we might have to find us a Jon Snow or two.
Oh, I am available for political consulting.
Amen. So I had a joke, but I'm not.
And I know a few things about killing people.
Oh, you do?
Wait a minute.
Oh. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Austin, you on Talk Chicago 1690.
Maze, how are you doing? And Todd, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Great.
Good. I have two comments about Jesse. For one, you know, there's been many white people who have accused us of things. For instance, when we look at the young man Emmett Till back in the day, what happened to that woman? Not only her, but so many. Also, Todd, I have to pick a bone with you. One morning, I heard you supporting Cook County Board President. One thing I know about our Cook County Board President is that when the sheriff, Tom Beck, got in office, it was like 3 directors at the county board, at the county. Now they have about 200 or something, and they got a director for toilet paper, they got a director for fire hydrants. You're talking about the budget being just took it out 3 times higher than it was when you was in office. How can you support that? And you had a balanced budget and a surplus. And when she came in, she rolled your tax back up, rolled your tax again, and then took it even worse than what it was. I mean, and how many contracts do we have through her? I mean, I just don't understand, Todd. I respect you so much, and I don't know how you can support someone that doesn't like black people.
Oh,
sure.
Don't. Hey, Austin.
Cleopatra will handle this.
Todd, I handle you lightweight.
Okay, so what you got for him? Nothing. We can move on. We can take the next call.
We'll move on. I'll think about that myself.
Ooh.
Because sometimes all the facts aren't there. So I hate to really talk about things I don't have enough knowledge about. And I haven't looked at her budget enough to really say nothing.
Hey, man. Well, let me tell you.
I will say this. She did say she balanced the budget.
Right.
She came in office.
She sure did. She fired 1,500 people. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. My fault.
Now, that is a part
did
of
Tommy
it.
leave?
That's a part.
Dang, Tommy.
Tommy left?
Tommy, I want to talk to you. You know.
She said she made the hard decisions. Remember that?
I remember,
she
but
said she made the hard decisions, and
it was hard. But
Cleo, I asked for a short. I didn't ask for no dissertation, girl.
So I'm just saying, yo. This is me, right? I am saying like this. y'all. We got to start tooling up. Like, I think that even in this race, we got to... Let me tell you why we got to turn out this election. Because if we lay down this election, like if this becomes a mollywhopping, then nobody is going to respect us. We got to get our numbers up. We got to demonstrate we got the numbers. We haven't organized the numbers in a long time. But y'all, we got to start putting our swords and shields up because it is going down right now. Political Game of Thrones. And if we don't want to be white-walked or taken over by the Lannisters, and I'm going to tell y'all, I started my career as a Lannister, right? Like real talk. It's how you learn the game. How you learn. That's how I know what's going on right now.
Right. You only learn best from people who have done it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You usually, entrepreneur, you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to work in the business first, and then you learn how to do it. And so when you learn the game and you know the master players, and you see them doing the master play, hey, y'all, it's time for us to tool up. Now, when we come back, we are going to talk to Karen Riley from the Business Leadership Council, as well as Kimberly Agon. We're going to be talking about yesterday's debate, plus the efforts of the Business Leadership Council to turn out black voters. Y'all, we got to get our weight up. It's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back after traffic, news, and the weather.
Live from the WVON newsroom, here's our news now.
All right, y'all going to have to make space for Karen somewhere. Do 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 do. Yeah.
But her son's black, so I know she must like at least one of them.
Who?
Tony Crowder.
Man.
How is it true? Only you know. Only you can prevent it from forest fires. Whatever happened to Smokey?
He came back.
Yeah, but he didn't come back in raw form. Like weird.
Wait, that's not my guest. It's Karen Riley. She's recording a promo.
Oh, you're recording a promo.
She's here to record vote. She's not here. She's supposed to do the vote. Karen is supposed to be the from the BLC. That. But hold on, stop. Since we gotta come back over here. So I just want to say hello, put you on the camera.
Good morning, good to see you.
So this is right. So y'all, that is okay. Let me get you. All right, can you take a step over that way? Right? Yep. All right, that is the president of our very own Chicago State, Miss Z. Scott. Let me tell y'all what. She is one of the top-notch practitioners of law and is now here to save our children's and our own HBCU. Y'all make sure y'all show her love and support. You know how they do us at Chicago State. So we want to make sure that we are there to support her. What can we expect from you as the president of Chicago State?
Well, thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. There's so many things going on in Chicago State. Yes, every day is an adventure. Yesterday, we burned a prairie. And who knew that we had a prairie on our campus? And it's an incredible ecosystem. And yesterday we did a prescribed burn for this prairie. And to renew it, it creates a welcome location for so much wildlife, and it allows us to do scientific research in our biology department. That was just one day. We also had a group of high school students out yesterday, about 300 high school students on campus, for a program called Why Vote. We are trying to educate our youth who are eligible to vote. And afterwards, after the program, those that were eligible to vote went to vote on our campus. And those that were not eligible because they weren't registered or they weren't old enough, we registered people who were eligible to register. But at least we went through the exercise of saying, here is what you need to do as a citizen of this country and as a neighbor of this state. So we're just trying to get it done every day. Trying to get it done.
So look, y'all, that is President Z. Scott. Now I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret. And another. The real boss at my house told me that this woman is probably one of the most dynamic attorneys that you'll ever meet in your entire life. And so I am excited to know that we have her there looking out for the best interests of our community. And we're going to be asking you to come back so you can answer what's in it for the black people at Chicago State.
There's a lot.
All right. Thank you.
I wanted to meet you. My name's Todd Stroger.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't have some kind of connection with the Botanic Gardens, you probably should.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they got a ton of seeds and they like to talk all that kind of stuff.
You know, the Museum of Field Museum came
All right.
out, you know, for the burn,
Mm-hmm.
and another college came out, College of DuPage. They actually managed prescribed
They
burn.
do a lot of stuff.
They managed prescribed burn, so they came out. So it was good. It was good. I mean, people just don't know what's going on down there, and that's part of our issue,
Right.
that we haven't done a good job telling our story. So that's my, you know, vision is that by the time a year goes by, people will have a real understanding of Power Chicago State.
Excellent.
Shout out to Mike Crawford as well. Great guy doing good stuff.
He was on the panel yesterday.
That's a great guy, man. That's a great guy.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
So, good, I think, I'm guessing Melody is gonna come too.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so we said 9 o'clock.
Oh, 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
Oh, okay, wow, they told me 8.
Yeah.
But that's okay, I don't know what birds fell off of a truck on a day of Ryan, so I got here in time,
There's
no
always
matter
something.
what. Yeah.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. You remember me?
9
I
o'clock.
did.
Nice to meet you.
in the
Oh,
door.
yeah.
I did?
Yes, when I was coming
Yeah, I got about 100
to
of them
the
at home.
meeting.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's on one history.
Yeah, I'll take the car and go to your place.
I didn't make it in the runoff.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Oh,
that
you
was
said
good.
that.
You
Oh,
were
right.
just helping
Yeah,
out.
that's
Yeah,
always
checking
been
out.
I see our signs.
Yes, oh, good.
Our signs
So
were
now,
down, our signs were
You
87.
see Felicia
Our
last
signs
night?
were
I did.
Pastor.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
you
yes,
did great.
and
So I
you
got
saw
to
it
follow
on
them.
Twitter
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Did you see some of
Yeah.
the,
That's my son or
I was
daughter.
just looking at it, and so they
Oh,
posted
fast.
her
They popped
video,
up right
her
away.
little girl, and so that she'll have that, so
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Word
I
out. Yes. Yeah, so many people don't
Yeah.
I meant to text her, but I
Yeah.
was texting Kim. I'm
We
like,
need
girl,
to
you bad
figure out a way to raise your money.
Oh my God, I'm just like,
I have a scholarship.
that's
I
right,
have a
that's
scholarship
right.
coming
She
up.
said, I said,
Let me see if I have an invitation. I'm carrying around the invitations. Anybody can give it to them, give it to. There you go.
Amen.
That's we're having a president's investiture, which is really just, you know, to celebrate the university and the transition of power. And after that, the scholarship gala that you on the 11th. That's in about a week.
That's the
Yeah.
narrative.
Spread the word.
All right.
Good to meet you.
Same here. Thank you.
Madam President, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for the shout out.
Anytime, anytime. Whatever
You
we
tell
can
your
do
wife
to
I
be
said
helpful,
hello.
I will. She just was watching on the broadcast.
Okay.
She love her some Z Sky.
Yeah. Where's she sitting at here?
Why don't you put her in the middle?
So I'm not supposed to be in here.
Located at 100 West 95th Street on the south side of Chicago.
Hi.
We
Todd
invite
Stewart.
you
How are
to
you?
worship
Same
here
here.
at Trinity United Church of Christ. We have 3
Can't make it happen. She opened doors.
Now you know you can't have that coffee in here.
11 a.m.
Why?
and 6
Because
p.m.
there's no drinks allowed in here.
Rules.
Yeah, I put it in the other room.
Why is there water?
Because it's water can be in there except for drink. Your, what you call it?
For real? I didn't hear what you
test
said.
for you, and
Huh?
I'm gonna see if you pass. I've got a test for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a funny story with Karen. She's a door opener.
This traffic report is brought to you by Accountant.
What up, Nanette?
Are you feeling short-staffed? Accountants can provide accounting and finance
Boy.
professionals on a temporary or project basis. If you need them to help with increased workload, call them today or visit accountants.com. Accountants, a Robert Half company. WVON, traffic and weather, now.
See, it's already started. Like, people have already created accounts. All right, y'all.
5806, 5806, 5806. I just gotta do my parking maze.
Come on.
I was trying to listen to you. You know, I have a 15-year-old boy with a playlist that he always is putting on, so I can't listen to you until 8 o'clock.
He run the house. Who run the car? You run the car. He run the car.
You know, the mamas have to distract, but you know, you men.
Can I get you to scoot over to the yeah. Todd, come in.
You're videotaping?
Yeah, it's Facebook Live. We Facebook Live. This is every day. This is your social media every day.
Melody is on live for you.
Yeah.
Not our Melody.
Who is Melody?
She says I'm Melody, call her for Maze. calling in for me. You don't know nothing about him?
Melody. Calling in for Maze about what? I don't even know the number
Can
to tell
I opt
nobody to
out
call.
of the video at Facebook Live? I didn't Facebook Live.
Not really.
Thank you. I came from. I thought I was on radio. I started
And then everybody
sweat-
come in the
sweat-
studio is on
sweat-
Facebook Live. I'm not turning the camera off. Close that door.
Okay. Let me find it. I gotta get this working, right?
Get your headphones. It's time to go. And just pull it up. They gotta do better screws in there. Crazy. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Hey, y'all, it is 8:30, and after 8:30, y'all know it's almost time to wrap this thing up. I'm almost out of here. Now, don't forget, I got to leave out of here, Todd. I'm going to tape Flannery Fired Up, and then after I tape that, then I'm going to be headed over to the City Club. If you have not gotten your tickets, stop by the City Club today. I will be featured panelist along with John Cass, Paris Schutz, and Fran Spielman, as we will give our final election wrap-up looking good. But y'all, let me tell y'all what, as we talk about this election wrap-up, one of the things that I've been pretty vociferous about in this cycle is that we got to turn out. See, I believe that if we don't turn out, if we don't show our numbers, like our actual numbers, actual voting strength of black folks, then as we've been talking about this political Game of Thrones, we will again be looking like agricultural victims to warlords that are coming to take our piece of the pie. And so one of the organizations that has been influential in the dissemination of black power, money, contracts, etc., is the Business Leadership Council. And in that, they have decided to launch a voter turnout initiative. This is a nonpartisan initiative, but a voter turnout initiative where they provided grants to a variety of organizations. Let me say, Maze Jackson being a proud recipient of one of those grants, to use our voices and platforms, not for a particular candidate, but to ensure that the voice and the vote of the black community counted. Now, part of what they have done and part of their outreach started last night. Well, it started a couple months ago. But the culmination of it, in my estimation, was last night's debate. The final debate that was on CBS 2. It was brought to you by WVON. It was brought to you by CBS 2 Chicago, Ida's Legacy, and the BLC. That's the Business Leadership Council. And here to break down their efforts and why this voter turnout is so important. And she trying not to get on the camera, right? She trying not to get on the camera, but y'all know how we do. You can hear her right now. This is one of the ladies that makes the thing go. It is the executive director of the Business Leadership Council, Miss Karen Riley. Karen, welcome to the WVON Morning Show. How you doing that? Was that a sorority call or something? Are you in a sorority or something like that?
I'm a GDI. And I believe very strongly that we need to make sure that we keep an independent voice, that the black people in this community, I see you over here.
That's not me.
That's
not me. You know, I don't do two in my studio. Go ahead.
But thank you so much for having me on the show, and I do appreciate all of the involvement of our community. CBS 2 has been a very committed partner with the Business Leadership Council. This is our third debate, maybe fourth. We've had gubernatorial debates at DuSable Museum. We did the mayoral debate before at DuSable. And the focus is always on bringing the issues of the black business community, the community at large, to the forefront.
So talk to me. So you all launched an initiative. I got the opportunity to fill out that. You don't have to rock with it just like this. You don't have to hold it. But talk to me about this effort. So I got a phone call. I got an interesting phone call from one of the most influential people, I would say, in the city of Chicago. And he said, hey, you know, you have got a voice and you've got a platform and we want to work with you. And I was like, who, me? And they were like, yes. And they said, hey, can you use your platforms, plural, to help encourage black people to vote? And it seemed like it was right in my bailiwick, because y'all know I want some black power. Now, Karen, talk to me about why voter turnout from the Business Leadership Council's perspective is so important.
So we're right in line with what you say, Maze. It's so important for our community to show that we do have strength at the voting poll. I mean, if we don't use the system in place to move the needle towards those issues that are important to us, and how do we do this? By electing leadership that supports the issues of concern to us, going to vote, then, you know, we're lost. This community, if you're Game of Thrones, I'm not really all the different players, but I do know that the black community has to go to the polls. You have to show that we will turn out, that we do elect leaders. We saw in the gubernatorial race, if not for our vote, J.B. Pritzker would not enjoy the win that he had. We definitely showed up and came to the polls in support of J.B. Pritzker, and he has been working with us very consistently to help get black people in leadership positions and roles in the state government. And that's what we want to see happen in this next election with the mayoral candidates that we have. We want to be able to gain some more leadership in the administration. We want to see that those contracts and procurement dollars go to our businesses. We want to see jobs for our community. And so, you know, voting is the way to get there. This is our path to seeing those issues come to the fore.
And one of the things that you all did yesterday was sponsor the final debate, in which WVON's own Kimberly Agoin was one of the moderators. And I'm gonna tell you, Kimberly probably stole the show yesterday when she asked the question about black contracts, and like we try to do all the time here, they tried to pivot to minority, and she was very specific about black. Here on the live line to talk to us about it is WVON's own Kimberly Agoin. Kim, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, thanks a lot, Maze. Yeah, you saw that pivot, didn't you?
That's right, we all did.
You know, it seems like, Kim, it is, and when we look at all of these, it seems like our elected officials, particularly when they're black, they are trained to automatically move away from black people and move into the center. And yesterday was a great example of how we pulled that back when Lori Lightfoot tried to pivot out of the 30%. You said, I believe you said it was 30% of the population. Look, Kim, when we come back, we are going to talk to you and ask you to tell us a little bit about your experience last night. Plus, we'll wrap this thing up, Karen. We'll ask you about what the BLC's efforts are and how they can connect, how regular black folks get connected. It's the Talk of Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
Oh my God. I drink coffee.
No, this studio is just extremely hot. It's extremely. Look, here, let me turn that off because you'd be like.
Facebook Live
Yes.
and all this. Really, I said Maze on Facebook.
Hey, this is my studio. Hey, this is my studio.
No, this is my face.
This one
is
you
my face.
You
I did not agree to that. See, he's wrong.
Is this the group with Jim Reynolds and all those guys?
Frank Clark is our president, and Jim, John, Martin Nesbitt, John Hooker. So John Hooker connected, and I need to come back to that. I need more time. He can't be rushing me along because I got to get my answer out. I'm long-winded like Tony. It's a lot to say, and you need to make sure we make all the points. Yeah, and I'm not gonna say it now.
Great job yesterday.
Oh, I think it turned out really well. And Kim
Killed it.
I
I said you a bad Mama Jam. I'm gonna have to let her know.
Yeah, it was no. I felt like Jesse.
8%.
Jesse is great. Young man. He's got some issues to deal with, but that's not the concern of the black community right now.
Right.
That's not. Don't try to make this our big concern.
Yeah.
It's not.
Because it's masking all of the real issues.
Right. Sucking all the air out of them.
They trying to. And we still find a means to survive. No matter what they do.
Yes, but I'm tired of surviving.
That's right.
We need to be in a position to thrive.
Because
I wanted to shift. I definitely do. It needs to.
Yeah, see, some of the reason why we have not put forth a PAC is because, we're 100% member dues oriented, so we don't fund it. So we don't have, outside interest coming in, wanting to see certain things, or, having to make sure that we say minority instead of black.
Right.
So it's all from our members. So then if we start saying PAC, then it becomes because you know why? Our businesses aren't strong enough. We're not making the dollars. We don't have John Rogers will tell you in a minute, I'm not quitting my job to run for governor. Because he can't. He out there hustling just like all the rest of the businesses. We are not at the
We
same
didn't get the
level
kickstart. My daddy swear by this. The 40 acres and a mule was the kickstart. We didn't get the kickstart. We don't have generational wealth. So from maybe some of us, our generation is 2 ahead, and for the vast majority, with one fatal mistake, you're back at the start line. So a big part of that is the reason why we can't get ahead politically in terms of the black agenda, because the means financially. But you galvanize.
Well, all the people that she named, they're millionaires, but this is it. They just started. Now the children may run, once they've gotten everything, and you can pass, like I said, generational wealth, you can pass it down.
Right.
But
And with the
at
hope
this
that
level,
they
they're
don't
trying to
make
make sure
fatal
they keep this
mistake.
thing going and growing.
That's right. Hey, Maze. How long am I with you? For like an hour? I want to get all my points out.
We're over at we're over at 9 o'clock.
Can we invite ourselves to come back on Christmas, on election night, the eve? We want to come back the eve.
Election night. You gotta talk to them.
Election day eve, just because we want to talk about next day voting and just getting out the vote. We want to come back.
Sure.
And Del Marie Cobb wants to come too. See, we can't have personality.
Man, you can't be body slam nothing. But I'm saying you can't body slam me every day and then be like, yo, like.
She's gonna be with Perry today, but if you could accommodate it, no, definitely. If it's not gonna work here, don't worry.
I mean, I'm not tripping on nobody.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's like it's different.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody got they places where they fit. But if you like, man, he a sellout or whatever, you probably don't want to be on my show no way, right?
Right. No, what? Our community needs to get past all that.
I agree. But until the people that's telling us to stop name calling need to stop name calling.
This is my son.
It's like everybody tell you, the trick of the enemy is to tell you to put your weapons down while they keep using theirs. Yeah. Right? They be like, you lay down while we gonna keep stabbing your ass. No, I'm not just laying them down. You gotta come to a daytime. You gotta say, okay, I acknowledge what I did. You are on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. We got Kimberly going on the live line. In the studio, I got Cleopatra Watson. I got Ty Stroger. Y'all, we about to wrap this thing up. So look, Kim, I'm going to ask you to give us a brief synopsis, because then I got to get back to Karen Riley from the BLC. But Kim, tell us what your biggest learning was yesterday from the mayoral forum, the final debate.
So the biggest thing that I would say, it's hard to be the last debate, obviously, but the idea about the procurement and contracts, Tony Preckwinkle presides over the Cook County Board, and I think blacks get about 8% of the contracts there. The city hovers around 8%, 12%, 11%. And Lori Lightfoot actually committed to finally get the contracts for the city to be awarded to blacks if she gets in office to represent the actual percentage of blacks in the city, which hovers around 30%. And I think that that's a big deal, considering black people are suffering in the communities. Contractors need to work. Black people need to be working in their community. So we'll see. That'll be something that people can hold her feet to the fire should she make it to the 5th floor.
All right, Kimberly. Now, also in the building is Miss Karen Riley. She's the executive director of the BLC, who was one of the sponsors of the final debate, and they have been responsible for putting on these debates for the black community, for the televised debates, for the past few years now. It's a pretty cool thing. So, Karen, you got some points you want to make sure you get out.
Yeah, and so the first would be that Kimberly, you did an excellent job. That's a question that, we are constantly asking. How can we drive more business to our community? How can we make our existing businesses stronger? We want to see small businesses start, but we also want to see those that are already out there doing the work not get hindered by MBE caps and saying that, certain revenue limits so that we won't get the business that we are due. And your question to both the candidates was important, and I think that we needed to get some time to get it in front of Toni Preckwinkle so that she could also make that commitment, because the county needs to do it, the city needs to do it, the state, every governmental unit needs to increase the opportunities that are being presented for the Black businesses that are out there, and especially the professional services. We have lawyers, we have people in IT, we have accountants, we have a lot of architects and engineers. All of this billions of dollars of development that's going on in the city of Chicago. Why don't we see more of our architects and engineers and lawyers working on these projects? And these are questions that we want to have answered, and we want a mayor that's going to get into that office and drive more business to our community. If we're a business community that's thriving, we can hire more people, we can present more opportunities for our children, and it's important. And so, Kim, you nailed it. You put it right in front of them, and I want to continue having that said for the community. And with you, Mays, making sure that your viewers and your audience is coming out to vote. It's important. We're not saying who you should vote for. We're just saying get out to the polls and vote. A lot of people are saying the Black community is not going to come out in this election cycle. They already are disengaged. We have young people who were really participating at the in the municipal election, and now we see ourselves in the runoff. We want to see more. Young people actually could show up even stronger at the polls in this runoff election. So that's something we want to encourage. For all of the grant recipients, we hope that they are actually out there driving the numbers, and we're going to look at it at the end and say, here, we're going to start planning now. So we're going to look at it now, and we're not going to wait until the next election comes to say, okay, this is what we need to do. We want to start planning, working together with Mays, Chicago State University, Chicago Votes, and other organizations to start really looking at what we strategically need to do to have an even stronger voice.
Kim, you got any closing statements?
No, it's just I was honored to be there, and Karen, it was really great to see you guys. It was a wonderful debate, and I'm just glad that WVON gave us the opportunity to be there and represent the things that they want to hear. It's important that, just like Karen said, that everyone gets out to vote. All the information is there, so please come out and vote on April 2nd so you can show the strength of the community.
Let me tell y'all what, if you don't turn out to vote, we have the opportunity to not only lose, the thing that concerns me is an unmotivated voter turnout also has a negative impact on Melissa Conyers-Irvin. And let me tell y'all something. This is the first time we'll have an independent treasurer that was not appointed by the mayor. I had a great conversation with Emil Jones, and he was like, Mays, there's tremendous power in the treasurer's office. You could just move all the money. And I think that you gotta start thinking about strategic. I think so many times we think short-sighted, and they done planned it out for 6 months, and they put a squirrel in front of us, and we get distracted instead of dealing and focusing on the things that we gotta focus on.
Mace, if I may, that's a very important point. And so when we message and hear about, so many hundreds of thousands of Black people leaving this community, why isn't the message about the fact that in 2016, the white community was comprised about 36%, and now it's up to 49%. Whose city is this? And if we want to make sure that we still have some say in what's going on and that we don't change the voting districts, we need to make sure that we're at the polls voting so that we don't get counted out.
Yeah, I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
We have got to rebuild the political infrastructure in Chicago. I'm going to tell you that I think that right now our shortcomings are being laid bare in front of us, and we got to do something to rebuild the Black political infrastructure in the city of Chicago. I told you it's 5 pillars. It's business, it's politics, it's the street, it's spiritual, and it's educational. Now those pillars will grow, but we got to put those back down. All right, y'all.
That's right.
For Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. For the Wonder Twins, Miss Sonia Escobar, as well as Sonia Tompkins. For Cleopatra Watson. For former Cook County Board President Ty Stroger, I got Kimberly Ogoin on the live line, as well as Miss Karen Riley from the Business Leadership Council. I am your host of the WVON Morning Show, Maze Jackson. I'm going to tell y'all, if you haven't gotten your tickets, go grab your tickets. I'm going to be over at the City Club today. Maze Jackson, Fran Spielman, John Cass, Paris Schutz. It's going down. We are going to put the final smackdown on this election. Also, Westside NAACP has a forum tonight. Shout out to our girl, Ready Rock Ramel Terry, who is out there putting it down. But for all of y'all, if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
The talk of Chicago and the voice
I just love your show.
1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Yeah. No, that's good. So I hope it was, Kim was everything. Everything. And I just, I don't know, Maze just getting back to it. If somebody says to me, if you're lucky enough to win, if that's not to bring out your boxing gloves,
You ain't lying.
then what do you do? I mean, like you say, look, I'm not supposed to, sit back on that, am I? If I'm lucky enough to win?
I was telling Todd that this
Yeah,
morning.
yeah. Come on now.
Yeah. I expected that to be like a headline or something. I said they didn't invite me to it too much. I wanted them to.
They call that a haymaker. You don't see it coming. It comes way out from behind.
Tony did the slow blink, like.
Yeah, I'm sure she was like, oh,
Did the slow blink.
it's on now, girl.
Well, I would have loved to have heard that question, though, just for the record. I would have loved to have heard that question go to the person who has a record. That would have been a great question for a person. Like, it's one thing to ask somebody who was there for 8 months. It's another thing to ask somebody who was there for 8 years.
But now, look at jobs. So the jobs in the county and that business she can drive. See, people always want to say that she controls that health system, which is the bulk of the budget.
She appoints
And
the
she-
staff.
No,
She
no,
appoints
no.
the board
No,
members.
No, those people.
Yeah, but he doesn't truly appoint. It's a pass-through system.
That's right.
Where people are recommended to you, and then you get to pick out of that group who goes there.
I'm going to refrain from having my conversation because y'all.
Look, Mace, I'll take some blame for it.
No.